It is Dom time. Welcome in. Good Friday. Good almost Christmas here on Talk Radio 1210. But there's a lot of stuff I don't know about breaking. And I want to give you a decision from what I can tell. And I get it. But you know what? Fox News is wrong, Dan. So even Steve Keeley was on the trail. We told you yesterday, and we have that cut, right? Listen to this guy coming all the way from Guinea. Fox News intercepts him at the border. A colleague of his coming from Guinea has a Cincinnati Reds hat on. Nice guy. Here's what he said when asked, well, you made it here to Arizona somehow or another with holding English. Where are you going? Here's what he said.
Where are you from?
Guinea Conakry.
Where?
Guinea Conakry.
Guinea. Okay. And where in the U.S. do you want to go to?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Why Philadelphia?
I have paper. I don't know the place. Let me check the place. I want to check the place.
Okay, so just an address in Philadelphia to go to? Okay.
All right, Dan. So as I understand it from Steve and maybe in general, Fox doesn't want to give the address. At least that's where I think this is going. I know you've been trying to get it too, because they're afraid people will be so fired up, there might be trouble there. Well, how about is Fox going to follow up then and do a follow-up? I would do, it's worth it, a feature on this guy. I would buy him the plane ticket. Somebody else probably already has, to where he's going to go here in Philadelphia. And then to start asking questions. How does this guy all the way from Guinea have a community center he's going to in Philadelphia? Are they paying for it? Who are they in cahoots with it? You're darn right people are mad. They deserve to be mad on this. They see this type of stuff, and they want to know, how does a guy from Guinea get here? Now, look, this guy, I think, is obviously coming for economic reasons. I respect that. People want a different life. I'm not one of these yo-yos. I see several people on Twitter putting up, oh, look at this guy. He's got a fancy hat on, the guy with the Cincinnati Reds. All right. Maybe these guys are not completely impoverished, but I don't think they're doing well. They're coming here as immigrants did, but they did it in the, quote, right way for a better life. We get that, but we don't need that. We don't need all these people. We can't handle it. We shouldn't be doing it. And the greater purpose of Democrats is both chaos and to turn them in at some point to Democrat voters and overwhelm the rest of the voting demographics. It's an obvious thing. Why else would Biden be doing it? For any of those reasons. So should Fox tell us where he's gone? Dan, you can, of course, feel free to differ. Do you think they shouldn't?
I think from a PR standpoint, there's so much negativity about doxing that the number one priority that I think they probably have in their minds is they don't want to be claimed of being doxers.
But they're journalists.
Yeah.
This is part of the story. How are we supposed to follow up?
Yeah.
How are we supposed to follow up? Okay, they don't want to do that then. How about if they follow up and ask some questions, and if they think it's worthwhile, we see where they're going. We should know where they're going. I mean, don't tell me the story then, Fox. Don't tell me about the guy from Guinea. Don't tell me any of this, because I think the hidden story here is people that are getting resources to support. How does a guy just know to go to this center in Guinea, in Philadelphia?
Well, that's the thing, though, is say he did just look it up himself and print it off online.
Right.
The chances of that are very slim to none.
Yes.
But
yes.
Like we don't know for sure that this is a Biden administration kind of thing.
We
right?
don't. Well, but all I want to know is I'll run it down. Yeah. I'll figure it out. I mean, I think I've already figured out. Now, Steve differs. He says Northwest Philly. He said there's a lot of people from Guinea there. Dan, I told you where they are, and they're doing well. They are a model group, but I don't know how many of them are legal now. Out in Southwest Philadelphia, Baltimore Avenue, there are block after block of these stores, entrepreneurs, from people from Africa that have come here. I'm not sure if it's all the West Coast or how that works. I think a lot of them might be legal. Maybe they're not. All right. Do people think, come on, Dom. Dan's right. That's doxing. You put that out there now. And my God, look, do I think the heat would be turned up on whatever this community center is? Yeah. Again, we have laws against all this, though. So you give us the story. This guy just throws a pin at the map, and he's headed to Philadelphia. But we can't do any follow-up on this because I don't know where he's headed. Now, I'm still checking through various means, et cetera. If anybody can find it, me, Steve Keeley. And I think we ought to ask a whole lot more questions. Now, I don't know if Fox asked him anything more, like, is anybody but that guy seemed a nice guy. He might have answered it. How are you getting here? Who's paying for all this? After you got the core stuff out there. 855-839-1210. So would that be classified as doxing, and it would be big trouble for this versus we have a right to know this if you're going to do the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the only thing I could think is this is the primary source. This is Bill getting it.
Right.
He's putting it out there. Say something were to happen to this,
He's not
brick and
responsible
mortar.
for that.
But he's the only one putting the address out there. You don't think so?
No. Why be? It's news.
Yeah.
Now they may want to fact check it themselves. All right, they could take some precaution. They may want to call them and give them a chance to respond.
Yep.
If I knew what they were, but my sense is it's one of these places that are involved in this, Dan. I just can't picture a guy in Guinea saying Philadelphia. If he said New York, maybe he knows Chicago, maybe he knows LA. You really think?
There's a standing ovation for Trey Turner that drew him here. Come on.
Yeah.
His friend's got a Reds hat on.
Jim Kenny leaving. Well, that's a colleague. He's going to Cincinnati.
The potential for a World Cup. Come on, Dom.
Oh, that's what it is. Maybe they heard about our burgeoning soccer. Why does the guy want to come to Philadelphia, do you think?
Cheesesteaks.
855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. Now, yesterday we told you about the Philadelphia Inquirer editorial and citing this guy, Gene Stillip, who I told you I've heard about over the years. So I went back and looked him up. He's an activist, gadfly. Some would say other things. And he is suing Trump. He already has on several grounds. And now we're seeing other people get involved to take his name off the ballot here in Pennsylvania. So I went back and I'm looking at this guy's resume, and it's all the usual stuff that you would see. He is someone who has been in an anti-Trump demonstration. He's done some various burning of things, Dan, and he's been involved in a lot of lawsuits. A district judge found him guilty of violating the open burning ordinance in a place, East Buffalo ordinance. Burning in public places at all times. He claims it inhibits his freedom of speech by preventing him from publicly protesting through flag burning. Stillip burned flags in more than 24 communities leading up to the 2020 election and protested what he calls President Trump's horrible values on racism, bigotry, hatred, white supremacy, ethnic intimidation.
Sounds like a big fan of Liz Cheney.
Yeah, but his earlier suits have included those against Harrisburg, Lebanon, Lewisburg. So this guy, I believe, just either is a lawyer or has a lawyer and files suits all day long. The Inquirer cites him as this guru, the hope. You can hear them. Now, even the Washington Post has come out today saying this is bad business, what happened here in Colorado. Eric Boeing on Newsmax has said that there are several now Republican groups in various states, Pennsylvania is one, that are trying to take Biden off the ballot. Now, just think of the idiots here in Pennsylvania, Dan. I haven't seen the name of I'm trying to get the name of the representative to call him an idiot personally. No, we don't want to be doing this. It muddies the purity of our message. Not only that, how in the world are you going to get Biden's name off the ballot in Pennsylvania? How are you doing that? You know that Josh Shapiro would veto it if it passed. How's it passing the House? And then you would need 2/3 vote to overrun that. You're just giving them cheap wins by getting involved in this stuff. But apparently, double-figure states now are involved with trying to take Trump's name off the ballot. Pennsylvania is one of them. Now, Pennsylvania, if Trump weren't on the ballot here, that would be a disaster. Democrat strategists telling the Blaze, though, people behind the scenes, this ain't good. A Christmas present for Biden would be the Supreme Court. He wakes up that day saying, no, you can't do this. Because the longer this goes on, the more it's going to help Trump. I mean, it's an obvious thing. It's already starting to play out. There's no way this is going to stand. But in the meantime, it's going to help Trump. Okay, let me give you the side question for today. I'm excited about this one because I saw this on Twitter and I thought of a couple good ones last night. When a character exits a TV show, but particularly a film, we want to know what's the all-time exit move they used to get rid of the character. How did the character leave the film? One of my favorites, of course, Godfather. It's top 5 scenes in The Godfather. Michael comes out of the bathroom. He doesn't blast him right away, but he does pretty good business when he does with Sollozzo. Dan, do you remember who Sollozzo resembles? Or who
Yes, I
resembles?
do. I do.
Let's see if everybody, I'll leave it out there.
Yeah.
Who resembles Sollozzo? I was shocked at how much he resembles him. He could have been a double for him.
He really does look like
Yeah,
him.
he really looks like him. There you go. My favorite, though, Dan, might be Robin Williams. I forget the name of
Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, but no. Keating, I think, is Robin Williams. I think is it John Keating's? Keating is the private school teacher, English teacher he plays. And when those kids stand on the desk, something he taught them to get a different perspective. It's magical.
Captain, my captain.
Sit down, Mr. Anderson. You hear me? Sit down. Sit down. This is your final warning, Anderson. How dare you? You hear me?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Mr. Overstreet, I warn you. Sit down.
All right, that and when he had to rip the pages out of the book, when the guy comes in and there's no pages in it, they can start reading how to break down poetry. That was a heck of a closing scene for the character leave Robin Williams.
Do you want it within the narrative itself, or can the character leaving have such an impact that it's just a notable exit from a show as well?
Yeah, that's fine.
Steve
Yeah, but-
Carell leaving The Office.
Oh, okay, sure.
An incredibly notable exit.
Yeah, but did they have a backstory
No,
to that?
not really.
Well, they did have a backstory. Holly, that was a great exit.
Oh,
of
you know what?
character.
Yeah, you know what? That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That gave them some of the most moving scenes, and it allowed them to show the progression of Michael to somebody who was much different than the unself-aware Michael before. He still was a little klutzy, but it was a beautiful, that scene with the lights, 896 hours, they did it all. He did come back, and they didn't say too much, like, how's it going with Holly? But, yeah, it was Holly.
It was like a stumbling act for a couple of seasons, but the final season I thought was done pretty well.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
brought
It was
everyone
Holly.
back
It was Holly, though. Yeah.
Great character, Holly, also in my other favorite show, one of my favorite shows of all time, second season of The Wire, as the cop on the docks.
Yeah.
The character that played Holly, the actress, was also in The Wire second season, who also features another great exit of a character in the final season when, spoiler alert, Omar finally perishes. It's like nothing happened. You know, the guy.
Right. Omar's exit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very fiery exit, and it's like very shocking for the viewer. But then you kind of get the newspaper report about it. It's not till like what, page 3 or something.
No, they didn't report it. They said, should we put the fire
That's
in
right.
or report Omar?
Yeah, so he didn't even get it.
And the person who killed him is the shocking part. He was able to face down anybody else, and he's just there in a convenience store. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, beautifully done.
What was she in The Wire, Amy Ryan?
She was the cop, and she was
Beatty Russell.
Yeah, and
There
she
you go.
was the girlfriend of the lead character.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they were together at the end or not. I think so. Yeah. All right.
Great actress.
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. 855-839-1210. So I really love this one. It could be a TV show, a character, and how they handle the writers and the character, the exit in some way, shape, or form. Even if they came back, some kind of exit. I could go watch Dead Poet Society this afternoon. It's that good. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. So should Fox tell us the community center, whatever that means, that's what they called it. I don't know if it's that. I have suspicion on this that it's a network that helps to get people here like that and pays for it along the line and gets paid. Could a guy in his own come from Guinea, get to Arizona? Why is he going to Arizona, by the way? Mexico's closer, or the Mexican border. I guess you know what he was Dan, that tells me this is an operation here, Dan. Mexico's closer if he's on his own, you know what I mean? But going to Arizona tells me this is all part of how this outfit does stuff. That's what I think. But I mean, heck, he could just fly into Philly and Jim Kenney would welcome it. Should we know that? I think without a doubt. Would it cause embarrassment or trouble, for this, quote, community center? Well, if I were Fox, I would give them 24 hours to, let them interview them, tell them the whole story and all that. And then you make a decision about talking about it. If it's just random, to your point, Dan, where the guy just has this, somebody told him about it because of that community I told you, all right, maybe then I wouldn't go with it. But I'm going to check it out. I mean, this has to stop. You're damn right people are mad about this. It's like, what the? 12,000 a day. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you need to do is just push pound 1210.
This Christmas, put the world on hold and enjoy a Sinatra and Friends Christmas with Sid Mark.
You better watch out. You better not cry.
Starting Christmas Eve at 3, it's Frank, Dean, and Sammy, plus Ella, Barbara, Tony, and more. A Sinatra and Friends Christmas with Sid Mark. Christmas Eve at 3 and all day Christmas Day. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinhetz of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
More than 200 nurses at Suburban Community Hospital in East Norriton and Lower Bucks Hospital in Bristol are now on strike. More than 20,000 people have been killed in the war between Israel and Hamas. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has declared bankruptcy days after being ordered to pay $148 million for defaming 2 Georgia election workers.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Is your home in need of new windows and doors, but you've decided to brave through one more cold season before making the plunge? Well, let me tell you why acting now will not only keep your family feeling warm all winter long while lowering your high heating bills, but also save you big bucks with the end of the year sale from the great people at Guida Door and Window. Guida is bringing back their biggest discounts of the year. Receive 40% off each window you buy. Yes, 40% off every professionally installed window. You'll also receive 40% off any door, including entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. And don't worry about touching your holiday money because Guida will start your project with no money down and allow you to pay it off interest-free for up to 12 months. If you need new windows and doors, you need to go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these huge savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires December 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
It's Dom time. Dom Giordano. Weekdays, noon till 3 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome in. Thanks so much. Glad we had Dan and Dorenzo today to warm things up. So this activist, I got a little bit more on him. And here's the chilling thing. A group called Free Speech for People is involved with the secretaries of state in Florida, New Hampshire, New Mexico, Ohio, and Wisconsin to keep Trump off their ballots. So will one of these secretaries of state bite? I think one in Maine is going to bite. Yeah, they think, what the heck? I'll be a hero here. I don't care. I'm a progressive. I don't care about the rule of law or anything else. Let's keep him off the ballot. I'm a hero. I'm stopping fascism. I think you're going to see double digits. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court dodders on. Well, come on, Dom. It's Christmas and all. Go to hell. Don't be on the Supreme Court. I'm so sick and tired of this. This is the business we've chosen. Godfather 2. It's the business you've chosen. And there's going to be a lot of stuff like this. Are they going to be doddering during the campaign, et cetera? We're going to need rulings. And that may mean they have to get around the clock, research, think about it, and then give us the opinion. You just can't be fooling around here with this stuff. I don't even know if we'll get an opinion from them before the end of January. By then, you want to see trouble. I mean, you got this type of stuff and you're putting people on edge. One of them overreacts on the Trump side, and then the media goes down that story for a month. This is where the Supreme Court has to do the right thing for the country and jump in here. It's an obvious thing to anybody. This is unconstitutional on so many levels. But okay, even if they upheld it, I just want them to do their job. These delays are just maddening. The pace is ridiculous on stuff like this. You got to see the trouble that's being caused. All right, Dan Cerrucci checking in here from Maple Shade on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dan, Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Bon Natal to you and your family. Everybody else, they're off today, but Dom Giordano, the hardest working guy in radio. There you are, Dom. You're so reliable.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. But, don't let them know because they're off today, the bosses and all. Come on now. How is this a job, just showing up here and being able to talk? As Rose says, it's not show business. There's no singing. There's no dancing. Well, occasionally there might be some singing.
It's my business.
The Supreme Court should show up. They should show up. You know what Woody Allen said? 9/10 of life is showing up. You got to show up, Tom.
I think he even said more. I think he said 98%. I agree. I would say it's 99.9. But yes, it's about showing up. If you show up often enough and you have a modicum of talent, you're going to go somewhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's your question today you want me to answer?
Oh, yeah, Dan. The side question today, give me that character when they take them out, when there's an exit of a character, film or radio, the best exit.
Well, Dom, I'm going to go back a long, long, long way. Howdy Doody. And the last episode, Clarabelle spoke for the first time. He never spoke before. He spoke for the first time. And the last scene that you saw was Clarabelle looked into the camera and said, "Goodbye, kids." Oh, it was so sad. Howdy doody.
Very good. That's really digging one out. Thank you, Dan. Thanks very much. Dan, that's pretty good. I forgot about Clarabelle. Yeah. So, when you have a character speak for the first time, that's always a grabber. Oh, I'll give you one. One of my favorite exits since people are, noodling and maybe they're not getting it. Dan, in the Breaking Bad, when Gus gets blown up by the other mob figure who's in a wheelchair, and he comes out, straightens his tie, and you see him. He looks perfect. You're going, this guy survived a direct bomb blast. Then the camera cuts at his other side. The other side of his body's blown away, and he collapses right there.
Yeah.
Now that is an exit. And the way they did it with the wheelchair, the whole thing, and the guy using the whistle and tied to the bomb that was there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
The bell.
The bell. Yeah. Yeah. Now that's a pretty good exit, I'd say. Particularly the way it's impossible. You're going to get blown up. But one side of Gus perfectly intact and fixing the tie. That was such a nice touch. And then boom. The other side. Oh. All right, 855. Dan's a good one, though. Clarabelle speaks for the first time. All right, that's a side question. That's what we're looking for. This story, sadly, is going to dominate. Guys like this still up. There's a few of them in every state. This is what they do. They file lawsuits. As I told you, some of the stuff he's been involved in before, the most recent was the burning of flags and everything else. But the Inquirer, see, they're not a gadfly out there. They're supposed to be the newspaper of record. What record? Yeah, what record is this? If they're the newspaper of record, just like the New York Times is the newspaper of record, and they're relying on this guy. This guy told us he filed a lawsuit. They said yes. Oh man, we're going to stop Trump now. They actually had a line. Those geniuses. Could this be the beginning of the end? And then next week they're going to be crying in their Chablis when we see Trump up 2, 3, 4, 5. And guess who's helping Trump, Dan, quite a bit? Christie. If Christie would drop out of New Hampshire right now, I'm not saying Nikki Haley can beat Trump, but if there's any state where she can come reasonably close, it is New Hampshire. She's down by my guess, 15 points, which, considering how enormous Trump has been, that's within shouting distance. Christie drops out, and she might be within 5 points or so, somewhere in there, okay? You might have a horse race there. Surprisingly, I think Trump is going to tune her up in South Carolina even. I'm starting to see that DeSantis could drop out after Iowa. I could see that potentially happening because I think he might come in second there, but he's going to lose by an enormous amount. And that's where, I mean, he's got the endorsement of that big moral guy, the governor who's popular. He spent $20 million already just in Iowa. He's visited all 99 counties. You got to do that. They don't like it if you don't. 99 counties, Dan. Can you imagine? Like, I've been there. I don't like the whole Iowa setup. I covered it and all. It's how does the country turn on this non-diverse, picky state with no industry or anything else? I mean, it's ridiculous. Although I think we broadcast the show from Pella Windows and Doors.
Ooh.
What a trip that was. Rich came with us, Mr. Vizo, who was your doppelganger, and Ed Palladino was a program director. And we put them in there. One was a storm thing where they test storms. They were on the air with me from being blown around by 50-mile-an-hour winds or something. Then we sent them into Detroit. They got out of there pretty quick. Wanted to know if there were tumbleweeds coming down the street. It was quite a trip. Let's see. Let's go to Phil in Northeast Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Phil.
Hey, first time caller. Dom, I was thinking about your the immigrant from Guinea.
Yes.
And I just want you to know Guinea is 95% Muslim. And
okay.
It's one of the poorest countries in Africa. I'm thinking maybe that the Muslim community is drawing him in because if you've been driving around Philly in the last year or two, you've seen that the Muslim community is growing and growing.
Well, it could be, and that's why Steve Keeley thinks Northwest Philadelphia, where I am in that area. And I have to say, if he is Muslim, I couldn't tell anything like that by this. But if he is, and you're right, Phil, it seems like a good guess. That's where he would go. I know the Southwest, though, are these people from Ivory Coast and West Africa and all that. Huge numbers there. But wherever it is, Fox ought to run this down. I think we have a right to know.
I do too. I'll work on it for you.
Sure.
I'll get to you next week with it. But I would almost guarantee, if I was a betting man, I would say that the Muslim community is drawing him in.
All right. Well, Phil, as soon as I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning, ring the bat phone there. I want to know.
I will. I'll
right.
get to you next week. Thank you. Have a great holiday, Dom.
Thank you very much. I mean that, Dan. I would ask Greg, can I go on the air right now? It's 2:00 in the morning. Sure, do whatever you want. It just burns me up that I can't pry this loose. I thought yesterday we would. And I get your fear. We don't want to be, but they have a great story here. How does a guy from Guinea get to Philadelphia and want to come to Philadelphia? What's the draw? Phil just maybe opened up another part of it. If it's a hugely Muslim country, maybe there's a connection here. I mean, I'll be honest, I see the Catholic Church involved in a lot of this stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it even a little bit in some of these, like in Texas. And what's happening here, Governor Abbott had this genius move to transport people. Now he's going to do it by plane. And these sanctuary cities don't like it. Why should these small towns in Texas be overrun and have to deal with this? How can they cope with it? Well, nobody cares. They only care when they show up in New York and Chicago and they start telling us it's immoral. I don't believe it's immoral in the slightest. It's immoral to have these people coming here when we don't have any place for them, any need for them, and to overrun hardworking Americans. I've been up on the border that are inundated with this. All right, 855-839-1210. So what was the hot item? I'm looking for show fodder here on the other side today.
The other side, we spent a good chunk of time talking about Fetterman and his really concerning comments to progressives of what he's saying. And I had a theory, Dom, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this theory.
Okay.
That Fetterman's words, the strategy that he's employing, this anti-progressive strategy, is to protect one Bob Casey in the upcoming election from claims of Democrats being too progressive and dangerous for the country.
I don't know how that would protect Casey, though.
Well, it's his partner in crime, right? I mean, like right now, if Bob Casey were to run, a lot of the anti-democratic messaging would be, look how bad, look how down the country has gone under progressive leadership. So if you can distance yourself as a Pennsylvania politician, as a Democrat, from being progressive, I think that kind of takes away the luster that would go over to Bob Casey in an election.
But are Bob Casey's positions to the left of Fetterman then? He's not as vehement about these things, this turn of heart, as Fetterman is.
Yeah, but I think classically, Casey's been to the right of Fetterman.
Yes, of course.
But
On
Fetterman
paper,
being the senator from Pennsylvania that's often in the news, I think association from a casual, someone that just watches TikTok or so might think if Fetterman's this progressive, then Casey has to be too.
I think they're heartfelt, though, in Israel. Now Fox and Friends went too far this morning, saying, I think it was Kilmeade even, Dan, or Lawrence Jones, saying that this gives them hope for the country, that they can bond with Fetterman over it. Whoa. Now, I'm not going that far. I still have so much resentment around this. I just want to know, is the wife, my conspiracy theory is the wife's out of the picture. It's almost like a divorce.
Oh, you think that there's been some kind of
she's doing her firefighting and her other nonsense. And this
that's a good point.
And this is Fetterman, because of Israel. Maybe he agrees on Israel. He hasn't really said anything on too much. I mean, TikTok, it's an obvious, even a liberal, even
Do you think
very
she brainwashed him into thinking that progressive politics were the morally correct thing to be, and now he's realizing that the morals might not be as consistent as one would like to believe?
No, he was always pretty progressive, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a good theory. So we'll continue.
Has he been always progressive, or was that a reaction to counter the claims of him being racist?
No, I think he was progressive before this, but
before the pulling the gun on the jogger and all.
But it's shocking. This guy runs out there with a shotgun and thinks he's gonna with a black jogger. Are you nuts? And you're a politician?
And somehow he's the progressive one?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, can I give a good example of the side question for today?
Yes.
So today, side question, we're asking, what's a great character exit death, a write-off from a television show or a film? And right in the vein of a couple having trouble, Josh with a fantastic answer. If you call it and you can claim it, Josh. He says Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold were together. They were both on the Roseanne show. And then they got into a messy split. And Tom Arnold's character, who was dating Roseanne's sister, was written off the show by being abducted by aliens. And they had an entire episode in which Tom Arnold's character is abducted by aliens and written off the show. Fantastic answer for a character exit.
How did they ever write off him? What's the name of the show? I liked it too. It's in the suburbs. Kremp Florist knew them very well. The show, it's a Jewish family.
The Goldbergs. Yes.
And very good, particularly the two
How
kid
did they write
actors.
off Jeff Garlin?
They just, they didn't say he died. He just was no longer there. He wasn't in the chair. I don't think, the first time he had trouble, they sort of didn't say anything. The second time, they really didn't say anything. I never got a plot line there of what happened to the dad. You know what I think? They thought the series was going to be ending. Let's not go crazy here.
Didn't they do like something with CGI at one point too? Because he was so allegedly bad to work with, they couldn't bring him back in, so they had to wrap it up somehow. I think they.
Well, he had sexual, dalliances and.
Well, he was making
harassment.
comments. He gave unwanted hugs.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't take him off the Larry David show, did they?
I think he's still on it.
Yeah.
Curb?
So, yeah. How come? How come Curb Your Enthusiasm, but not the Goldbergs?
I would suggest that the cast and crew of Curb Your Enthusiasm might be quite different than a network television series like the Goldbergs.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. All right. So 855-839-1210. That exit of a character, film, TV show. It's a million really good ones. We got a couple stunning ones right out of the box. And this guy is just a fascinating tale to me, coming to Philadelphia from Guinea. And you got to feel for someone going through that to get here to Philadelphia. But we have a reason that we have alleged goals on immigration, because it's about America. It's not about the rest of the world. And at this point in time, we certainly don't need all this. It's ridiculous. For what reason? To undercut American workers more? All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Let's talk FanDuel.
So just real quick, I want to wrap up. Ro texted me. But she said that on the Goldbergs, they did actually eventually say that he died. But for an entire season, they did use CGI, stand-ins, and use of outtakes to keep him on the show throughout the rest of season 9. And then they had him die between seasons 9 and 10 and launch season 10 with a dead
Hey, I
father.
killed him. All right, bro texting. Couldn't come on and say that, though, right? Just couldn't come on. Yes.
Give us a Christmas gift.
Yeah,
Give us
just
a
come
ring.
on and say Merry Christmas. That's it. Hold Freddie up to the camera. That's all we need. All right. Hey, this holiday season, all your wishes are coming true on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. That's America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. And I really like the FanDuel app. So if you've been thinking of joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action, spreads, player props, over-unders. Visit FanDuel.com/Dom. Now, FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT, FanDuel official partner of the NFL. So again, all you have to do to get started, don't have to be a football expert. Dan, I don't know on FanDuel, but I've heard this morning the Eagles are 13.5-point favorites.
Wow.
Oh my God. I'm not.
Cutlets,
Yeah, I'm gonna talk this silly column in the Inquirer about how Italian Tommy Cutlets is, because Italian moms
Is there a level of Italian?
treat their males as princes, so they keep him at home forever and do everything
my
for them. And how many gesticulations he has. I mean, come on. Am I talking with my hands here? Come on. I don't do any of that.
Can I just rephrase what you just told me?
Yes.
And say, like, if you wrote this about someone who is Muslim,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
it's kind of offensive. I'm not even Italian, but the fact that they're
Yeah,
saying,
it
like
is.
the Italian mother thing is to baby a child, treat him like a prince.
Exactly. And the guy writing it for the Inquirer, Lubrano, I believe, is Italian. At least the name looks Italian.
Yeah. It's just more evidence of the continued negativity towards Italians.
No
because
Italian president yet. Not going to be
It's
for a
true.
long time. Thank you, Rudy, for that.
But
Okay.
the Tommy Box of Cutlets is a great name.
Yeah. All right. So FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 plus is what you have to be and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet. Expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's a Hessert holiday at Hessert Chevrolet, and that means it's time to get the best price on a new Chevy this year. Hessert has a huge inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles and will pay top dollar for your trade. Online or in person, shop Philadelphia's most convenient, hassle-free car dealership. Enjoy a Hessert holiday and get to Hessert Chevy today. Online at HessertChevy.com. Chevy, together let's drive.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
See dealer for complete details.
She gave you a tie, he gave you a toaster, but what both of you really wanted all along was a new bathroom. So toss the tie into the toaster and head to the holiday sale at Colonial Marble and Granite. Now you can take home a free sink and natural stone or quartz countertop when you buy a bathroom vanity at any Colonial location. Give your home a New Year's makeover at Colonial Marble and Granite. But don't sleep on it. Sale ends January 1st. Restrictions apply. See colonialmarble.net for details.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Everyone on your list is going to be happy this year if you take my advice and do what I do and let Omaha Steaks bring the happiness and take the guesswork out of gifting. Shop their carefully curated gift packages guaranteed to make spirits bright all winter long. Just go to omahasteaks.com. Save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use promo code Zioli at checkout, you get an additional $30 off your order. That's right. Send tender, juicy, butcher's cut filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers, gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. The happiness is endless. But this offer won't last long. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so avoid the holiday rush and do it today. omahasteaks.com. Use promo code Zioli at checkout. Minimum order may be required. This is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. I do this every year, and everyone always says thank you, and they never return it. omahasteaks.com, promo code Zioli.
Tickets to Joe Conklin comedy shows make great gifts. See Conklin in Pittman, New Jersey, Westchester, and at just about any Catholic school in the area. Get tickets at joeconklin.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have started a huge renovation. Take our already incredibly generous offers and add an additional $1,000 off all new Volvos, plus owner loyalty, plus up to $2,000 when financing or leasing with Volvo cars, plus $7,500 lease rebate on all plug-in Volvos. This is a fabulous time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo. This month's offers are incredible, and we must make space for all the construction vehicles. Visit us now.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, I can tell you we might have a all-out throwdown with our entertainment guy, Scott Cronick, today, Dan, at 145, 147, right?
Yeah, he texted me that he's a fan of the film Maestro on
Maestro yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Story of Leonard Bernstein.
I'm a big fan of Bernstein, but they call him Stein in it too. I'm gonna have to check that.
Is it Bernstein?
I always use Steen.
Yeah,
It's there's reasons, but anyhow. I'm a big fan. I was excited. Cooper is a very good actor. He's not Denzel Washington, but he's a very good actor. And I'm watching it. It was just going nowhere as far as I can tell.
A boring biopic?
Somewhat. Maybe I didn't give it enough time. And the amount of smoking, I mean, I can't stand to watch a chain smoker. I don't know about you. It looks
no comment.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah, I know, but I mean, you're vaping. It looks vaguely glamorous from afar, but you told me he died at the age of only 72.
Yeah, heart failure due to lung failure.
There you go.
Yeah.
How do you, I guess you get so addicted, or it becomes such a part of your work life.
There's an oral fixation to it. If you want to get real Sigmund Freud into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Sticking
was
something in your mouth.
Literally, I can't, other than this woman, I think became his wife, when he's talking with her, you know, and doing a couple little things, he wasn't smoking. But other than a couple of those scenes, literally, every time he's making music, he's even conducting. I think they have him at the podium. He's got a cigarette. Hey, Dan, which brings it, you know what? It's a holiday thing. Let me just tell you this. I once asked, and I'm going to throw it into the mix again. Back in the day, so you don't have no memory of this. Where's the most inappropriate place today? It would be inappropriate today. You had people smoking. So my doctor, family doctor, back when I was a kid with the family.
Yeah.
Dr. Louis DeCina, all time. What a character. He had like pregnant women in the morning as part of his practice.
Oy.
Then in the afternoon, he had stevedores and rough guys. He wrote lyrics for people like Abby Lane, who was a Hollywood star. I don't know how, but he was a chain smoker. So you're being examined by a doctor. He might go through and crush out 2 or 3 cigarettes in the 20 minutes you're there.
Oh, that's
and nobody thought anything of it.
Family doctor, we're talking?
Yes, yeah.
Could you imagine a specialist, such as like a gynecologist, and how the woman must have felt?
Well, that's right. And there was a scene in Mad Men where they had the gynecologist, the woman's in the stirrups, and he's got the cigarette. I mean, Red Auerbach, had the victory cigar on the bench. There were plenty of coaches that's walking up and down smoking on the bench. It's hard to believe that we,
I don't know how for so long they had smoking in restaurants. Like it just
Yeah.
it ruins the flavor of food. Like I go into a casino now and they have the smoking
Yeah.
sections. I get an instant headache when I
Well,
smell it.
it's on my mind. I had to go, our bank, which I will attack on another day. I've already have attacked them, Dan. They've gotten rid of the triangle of ATMs in Chestnut Hill, Mount Airy, Germantown that Roe and I relied on. Like 5 of them are gone now.
Oh, well, are they gone?
Yes, the
Are you-
bank is gone. The ATM, it shut down. Yes.
Well, what's the causation for this?
Well, okay. Now that you press me on that, one was blown up,
Yep,
or 2
there
might
it
have
is.
been blown up in,
I don't think it's the bank's
Krasnerland.
fault much.
Yeah, but one's on Germantown Avenue in the middle of the Chestnut Hill Shopping Center, arguably one of the wealthiest, chicest. They
But
closed the
I
bank.
feel like I
and thing.
vividly remember reports from Keeley, like second ATM blown up off of
Yeah.
that exact road. Maybe we're
Yeah.
talking those exact ones that are.
Well, those I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, these are other ones they've just willy-nilly have taken down.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going
Thanks,
to the bank.
Prancer.
I had to get cash this morning, and I'm going to my online and I'm looking. It says there's a Wells Fargo at 2401 Pennsylvania Avenue. I could be at the White House easier and find. I didn't find that one. So I end up over just blocks from us at 20th and Market. It's outside. There's nobody around me smoking. It's windy. It's cold. It's a brisk day. It's not hot. And I feel like I'm soaking in cigarette smoke. It's just, how could that
Like
be?
swim through it to get there. What was there,
Yes.
like a line of smokers that were nearby? Or?
No, it's just.
I've had that too. Like just walking through Philly, I get like a vagrant smell of
Yeah,
marijuana
yeah,
smoke,
exact-
which doesn't bother me like it does other people. but
No,
I-
this was cigarettes.
It was cigarettes.
I'm still feeling it now. So,
Do you get headaches?
no.
No?
So I support your right to smoke, and it's not about that. It's just that there's a limited number of people smoking. How could there be that much smoke there? So where's an inappropriate place that you saw people? You remember people smoking?
The daycare.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. You think about the daycare. I mean,
Right.
caretakers smoking with kids around
I'm
them.
trying to
It's-
remember when I started at WWDB, were people smoking on the air? There might have been. I remember there were ashtrays and all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Imagine in the middle of that.
Smells so
You
bad.
light up a cigarette in the building. Oh, yeah, because I remember when Lower Merion put the law in, and it was at WWDB, that you couldn't smoke in buildings. There was like fury over it. Yeah, so they must have been
Is
smoking.
there anyone that you can remember at DB that was a closet smoker that you want to, expose?
No,
these years later. No,
I have reverence. These are the giants.
like
of-
Dr.
of-
Jim wasn't, puffing on a cigarette in the corner.
No, I mean, Dan, I broke in the Golden. You're not going to see a Dominic Quinn and Irv Homer, particularly in the meetings, if they'd start arguing.
Homer seems like a guy that was imbibing
Cigar
a cigarette.
smoker.
A cigar? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, inside the meetings, if they'd start arguing, oh my God, it was coming, from
professional arguers going at it.
No, these are the types of feuds that went on for 30 or 40 years. Just the ultimate. Bernie Herman, Bernie McCain, Susan Bray.
Were there like death feuds, like lifetime?
They wouldn't be in the same room with each other.
Wow.
Stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I hear used to be, no longer, it's different now, but back in the day, oldies. There were feuds that would last.
I mean, there were some in Philadelphia we won't get into. but,
Yeah, exactly.
Like just
Where
with
there were
the oldies hosts that were
death threats and all. Yeah, or actual. Yeah, I didn't see that quite in talk radio. So this form of talk radio to me is kind of, versus versus seeing something like that. I thought it was like pro wrestling. That was a golden age. All right. Speaking of the golden age, let's go to Joe in Exton. Hey, Joe, Merry Christmas. What do you have today?
Yes, hello, Dom. Merry Christmas to you and Dan and Jim.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Yes, my film is Easy Rider. At the end, Peter Fonda is riding with his sidekick down a dirt road. And these hicks in a truck come by, and they don't like them. So they're riding past Fonda's sidekick, and the guy on the
Dennis Hopper.
passenger side
Yeah.
shouts out, and Fonda's sidekick flips him the bird, and the guy in the truck picks up his shotgun and shoots the sidekick. Then Fonda comes back to check on his friend, and the Hicks, they come back and shoot Fonda too.
That's unbelievable
Depressing
scene.
ending.
Now, who was the guy, the breakout actor, one of the top 10 actors of all time? Joe.
I can't remember his name. I don't recall.
The drunk?
George Hansen, right?
No. Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, George. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Yeah, Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Nicholson. There was a scene with Nicholson. They stop and they're singing or something, and Nicholson is drunk.
Very good, Joe. Merry Christmas, Dan.
I asked her to use Hicks more
Right.
often.
Oh,
in his
did you?
calls.
Yes.
Please.
But Dan, out of all films, he chooses Easy Rider, Joe. I think there's a double life there with this guy. That just
puts down his pipe and hops on the motorcycle.
Yeah, I can't get enough of it. He's got to come to an event somehow or another. We got to find where he is in Shanghai. I'm over to an event. People, oh man, it's like Herb on the afternoon show in WIP.
Yeah,
it's on an elevated Herb level.
Oh, way
Yeah,
elevated.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a similar offbeat.
I'm
quality
fascinated
to it.
by it. I
Oh, yeah,
gotta say,
he is, yeah.
I'm deadly fascinated by this guy.
Exactly. All right, 855-839-1210. Side question today, hit us with a character, their exit. How did it happen? I'm telling you, Dead Poets Society, if you haven't seen it over the holidays, try to see it. Beautifully done. And the last scene, incredible. All right, let's talk Dr. Bentz as we head toward the end of the year. It's a holiday season. We all know what that means. In addition to presents under the tree, it's time to use those FSA, HSA benefits we've been accruing all year. And if your benefits are still available, now's a great time to reach out to my good friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz from the Bentz Dental Group. Set up that appointment right now for a consultation. You know that I admire Dr. Bentz. We talk about his quality work, his attention to detail. You know that's one of my prime directives. And his investment in the overall health of his patients with all that infrastructure. Well, Dr. Bentz is a board-certified prosthodontist, was recently appointed to the board of the American College of Prosthodontics. So if you're considering dental implants, reconstruction, any dental or prosthodontic needs, call the Bentz Dental Group today to schedule your appointment with Dr. Bentz. Don't let 2023 end without taking advantage of those FSA and HSA benefits. Visit thebentzdentalgroup.com to book your appointment today or call them 610-272-6949. That's 610-272-6949.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
We are going to enter next year with the smallest military in over 80 years as active duty troop numbers sink to less than 1.3 million. And the Pentagon is now coming out and issuing a national call of service to Gen Z. Does anybody get the feeling that maybe if this continues to go in the wrong direction, we're going to have a draft?
Start your day with Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
This is Phil Cannella with a holiday message for you, the American retiree. As long as you don't accept failure, you'll always have hope. And as long as you volunteer for others and give, you'll always have purpose in your life. And here's my message to the financial industry and its advisors. You can make a living from what you take, but you can make so many more lives better from what you give. Give the knowledge of truth so that it brings clarity to a financial industry that so many American retirees depend on. These are the gifts that have given me purpose and have fulfilled my life. In the coming years, we will give you the truth that will bring clarity to more retirees who need safety from a financial industry that's unwilling and unable to give back. On behalf of Joanne Small and the Crash Proof Retirement Team, we wish you a very happy holiday and a bright and better new year.
Are you looking for a venue for your holiday party, a baby shower, or even a wedding? Look no further. Plan your next event at Riverwinds Restaurant. No matter the reason for your gathering, they'll make it perfect. Just choose the date, and Riverwinds will create a decadent menu that will exceed your expectations. Then enjoy as you and your guests have the event of a lifetime in a beautiful setting along the Delaware River with views of the Philadelphia skyline and the most picturesque sunsets in the area. Visit theriverwindsrestaurant.com today.
Love to cook Italian? Then Cento has some inspiring words for you.
Chicken parmesan and tuna capellini, gnocchi alla rosa sauce, pomodoro frittata, pappardelle, percitelli, pasta caponata, minestrone, ravioli.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Chanto family. Bon
Could you be the person who gives a kid their forever family? Across Pennsylvania, kids in foster care are waiting for a family of their own.
My name's Keyshawn. I'm 17, and I want a family that will love me for me. I'm tired of moving, and I'm ready to accept someone in my life to have them as my forever family.
Meet the kids and learn how you can become a foster or adoptive parent. To learn more, visit adoptpakids.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Calling on Media PA to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
You know who it is?
System's Money Melody earlier today. Who is
we
that?
Could do it.
Yeah.
No, it's John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John singing Baby It's Cold Outside to one another.
But it seems Travolta is the one that doesn't want to go outside.
It does seem kind of opposite, right?
Yeah, it seems kind of opposite. What the hell's going on here?
Oh, gosh. Don't sing, John. Don't sing.
No, her voice is pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
But John
yeah,
Travolta, not
yeah,
so much.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
To put it my boy. Talk about a guy who's gone downhill. My goodness. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, what's going on with his look? Can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
like
good.
he looks like a action figurine at this point.
Yeah. Well, it's the hair.
Is that what it is?
It's great hair to that. I know that's tough.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah, very good.
plastic surgery, you think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Very, very good hair. All right. Joe Biden for Christmas gives marijuana users a break. I'll tell you what that's about.
Ooh.
And a couple of other things we have. Keep the calls coming, though. Dom and Dan with you. Merry Christmas at 855-839-1210.
Dawn Stensland here, friends. It's the holiday season. You need to hurry to your local Piazza dealer. Take advantage of year-end savings. Now through January 2nd, you get financing as low as 0% for up to 60 months on select new models, like the 2024 Mazda CX-5 from Piazza Mazda of Westchester and Reading, or the 2024 Tucson and the 2023 Santa Fe from Piazza Hyundai of Westchester and Pottstown. Just visit your local Piazza dealer for details and additional offers. PiazzaAutoGroup.com. Tell Dawn sent you.
It's that time of year again. Hi, it's George Parenti, the lead dog at the Dogs and Cats Rule stores. If you're a pet parent like I am, you know that the holidays are just as important to our four-legged kids as they are to us. At the Dogs and Cats Rule stores, our goal is to make your holiday shopping easier. When it comes to getting the cutest Christmas-themed toys, collars, and leads, we have absolutely everything. That's Dogs and Cats Rule, now with 7 convenient locations. Shop small, shop local, shop family. Happy holidays from all of us at Dogs and Cats Rule.
Hey, Philly, it's quarterback Jalen Hurts and Window Nation's Harley. Hey, Harley, what's the right play?
How about 0% interest for 5 full years?
What?
And get 50% off all style windows.
Oh, right. It's halftime at Window Nation. Score new windows for your home at half price.
Save 50% on all style windows. And for a limited time, get 0% interest for 60 months.
That's why you should call my team, Window Nation, today.
Yeah, Jalen.
At 866-90-NATION or visit online at windownation.com.
Station WPHT AM, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to providing broad outreach regarding job vacancies at this station. We seek the help of local community organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Community organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should contact Lisa Morton at WPHT AM by calling 215-234-2400. In addition, all listeners are encouraged to visit odysseyinc.com/careers for an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is Dom time. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for being with us today. Bradley Cooper arrived early for his 30th high school anniversary reunion, Germantown Academy. I don't know if anybody else really accomplished and went to Germantown Academy, and I have to look it up. Whenever this comes up about accomplished people, not just famous like a celebrity or athlete, I always go back to Cheltenham, which has fallen down quite a bit, as the winner in that in our area. Now you go to New York, and some of those places have like the guy who split the atom first, the first heart transplant guy, Nobel Prize winners, 5 of them.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 athletes. Cheltenham had the Netanyahus, Mark Levin, Reggie Jackson, and the second guy that did the heart. Not the first, but it might have been a little bit more successful with the heart transplant guy.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that
Pretty
I know
long
of with Cheltenham.
I have a couple of Germantown if you want it.
Yeah, Germantown Academy.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper.
Right.
Brian Roberts, who's the head and CEO of Comcast.
He went to Germantown Academy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alvin Williams, former Villanova, great later NBA player.
You're really falling off the cliff
The
there.
Crippen family, a great family of swimmers.
You're really falling dredging here just to get to the
How
finish
about
line.
Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court, Owen Roberts? Owen Josephus Roberts. He led the 2 Roberts commissions, the first of which investigated the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Wow, that's way back when he went there. Yeah. That's decent. I think they're laughing over at Cheltenham on that one. Yeah, I think they might be. And in New York, I mean, there are schools that have like household name athletes, celebrities, and then the intelligentsia. So, yeah, one of those. I usually do that once a year, and I just happen to see Bradley Cooper. So, Joe Biden, and doing it now on a slow news day, I don't know how that helps him. He has pardoned thousands, if not substantial number of thousands, that have been convicted of marijuana charges on federal lands and in Washington. I don't think he can do it in the state, so the federal land and in Washington. But he also said there were people that got sentences that were too severe. And as a result of that, he's commuting them or downgrading them. Now, look, to be honest, I got to say, I'm not bent out of shape about this. Trump did some of this stuff, and I didn't like it then, and I don't like it when anyone does it. Remember that woman in Hannity, Dan, had her on? Oh, this is great. She was a drug kingpin for like 20 years. And they were saying, well, it's nonviolent. Let's go easy on the pardoning power here. The people that on the marijuana thing, it's not a big deal, but the argument could be made in this regard. It was against the law then. So maybe minimizing it or whatever. Is that really, I got to see if there's anybody out there, though. Here's the thing where I feel what they're citing is probably not true anymore. Is a marijuana conviction just for use a hurdle still to employment? In other words, if you have a marijuana conviction, is that going to be something that is going to be, you think it is?
Yeah, well, like if it's is it a misdemeanor or a felony? Because there are jobs that just straight up won't hire anyone that has a history of felony.
Right.
So if you have a felony usage charge, which I don't know exists, but
I don't see how you would have a felony, though.
Yeah.
I'd have to look.
It's federal crime.
Was it a felony then?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're up to the felony range, I think then you're dealing in some way, shape, or form, probably.
Did you know that Biden pretty much legalized marijuana nationwide under the radar, and it's out there in stores? Like nobody knows this. Absolutely no. So in the Farm Bill, Joe Biden passed a resolution in which that you can now sell THCA, which is the acid of THC, which is the little crystals that you see on flowers before they're lit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can now distribute THCA as long as it's not full THC. Well, all THC is THCA before you put a flame to it. So if you go into a vape shop in Philadelphia, they'll have on the counter now nuggets of legitimate marijuana It's being sold just over the counter legally to anybody who wants it. No ID needed, nothing. You need an ID to show that
No,
you're old enough to buy vape stuff, but
right.
yeah,
I didn't know that, and I don't think
everything
there's
says 2018
right.
Farm Bill compliant THCA product.
I don't think there's any political traction for Republicans. In fact, one of these yo-yo Republicans from a yo-yo state starts going crazy about this thing. Let's not give them any ideas, and then they tarnish all Republicans with it.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you go anti-marijuana at this point, you're not getting any young voters.
Right.
I apologize.
Right.
It's-
Yeah, no, I exactly.
Like
no.
even people that don't use marijuana, it's just
Although
it's
the
gotten to that point.
most persuasive guy on some of the downside of marijuana that I've ever heard, and I don't think anybody would beat him in a debate, is Christie. He's very good at it. Talking about how today's marijuana is probably different. I saw the effects of it when I was teaching on kids. Not, that they turn to harder drugs, lassitude, things of that nature. I think that's a real thing, potentially.
There's definitely anxiety effects too.
Yeah.
you know.
So, I mean, there are real problems with it, but America's voted on this, which brings me to something when I saw this with Biden this morning. Here in Jersey, what have we seen? And if you're in Jersey, you got to tell us. Dan, you may have since you're in Jersey now, but in other words, what has happened? I have not seen a big uptick of anything. Like, do we know at this point? Are they bringing in, they were saying they're going to bring in $50 billion a year or something in tax, some crazy number. Is it a booming industry? Remember in the beginning, we see all those lines? You don't see them anymore. Are people getting marijuana delivered in Morristown? Remember we were talking about Morristown? That's one of the places featured. How many towns have passed ordinances saying, no, you can't have a marijuana shop in our town? Wildwood still has not approved it. Atlantic City has. I don't know if any of the other shore towns have. And the question is why? In other words, there's not a huge attack on it, but there's not an embracing of it as just, like a bar or something like that. So I'm kind of unclear in Jersey, big picture. I'll tell you the worst thing that it did, and it's because of how progressives like Murphy and his former attorney general are. You know what it is. Instead of just saying, all right, New Jersey wants marijuana. Oh, no. They said these racist cops now can't prosecute adult minorities. So what are these racist cops going to do? They're going to go after kids. Remember that? And we saw 2 summers, including the last summer, where Ocean City and these other places were hit because cops have lost their moral authority to tell them to move on and stop acting up. Ocean City, Wildwood, they had to pass more ordinances this past summer, which is ridiculous. That to me is probably the biggest unknown about all this with marijuana still is I'm not convinced that there's any test that can tell, as we can with alcohol, whether or not the person is impaired, other than if they're really impaired. Dan, you have anything on that? I mean, those are some of the things that have played out that I'm not sure where
July
we are.
through September of 2022,
Yes.
New Jersey collected more than $7.7 million in taxes on cannabis purchases. That was the most recent report I could find. But August 22nd of 2023, there's a story that Phil Murphy proudly announced that the money that's coming in from marijuana sales, didn't announce the exact amount, but at least $5 million of it is going to grants for community organizations designed to reduce and prevent violence. But we often see in Philadelphia organizations claiming to reduce and prevent violence and just take the money and run.
But only $5 million. What I mean is this has not been this bonanza.
No.
And I said that I didn't think it would be. I'm not sure the marijuana they're selling versus street marijuana, what's happened with it, but it just seems to have died as an issue. We don't hear anything. You don't hear any new part to it in this big experiment with it. So Biden doing this on a slow news day, that doesn't make sense to me. Politically, this would be helpful, but running against Trump. Is Trump going to come out as anti-marijuana? No, not really, even though he strangely doesn't drink. I've always thought that is kind of a weird thing. I know the alcoholism.
So since the recreation sales began, this is from November of
Yeah.
2023, since it began, $39 million in sales tax has been collected.
Okay, 39 million is nothing to sneeze at in 1 year, and 1 year and 1 month.
No. So that's since recreational sales began. When did those begin? Was it this year?
You said November.
No, I'm sorry. This report is from November of this year. But it
Okay.
says since recreational
It
sales.
seems like
began.
it's been a year.
It was 421. Launched New Jersey, 420.
I think it's a year at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not, it's not this bonanza. All right, so 855-839-1210.
So it's 2021. So it's about 2.5 years. Yeah.
That's not so good then. That's about 18.
Oh, no, 2022.
All right,
2022,
it's
so
maybe
2 years.
25 to 30 million, 30 million a year, something like that, give or take. All right, nothing to sneeze at. Every bit helps. What's the downside of it, though? I don't know that we've seen yet or how they keep statistics. Colorado in the news, and Colorado was the first.
Well, and I want to see the accounting of it.
Yeah.
Like where's this money going?
Right.
Because I come from the market of Atlantic City,
Mhm.
where we were told in Atlantic City that if you put money into the CRDA, Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, all the
Right.
tax funds from the casinos and all will be reinvested into the city of Atlantic City, and
Right.
you saw none of that.
Yeah.
And there's been
Of course.
questions as to where's the casino money going. I got
Right.
questions now. Where's this marijuana money going?
Yeah, without a doubt. It has been a big nothing, to put it mildly. Nothing on the upside, downside. It's just under the radar screen. All right, 855-839-1210. You got the side question. We got some really good ones on Twitter. I just happened to see this, and I'm going to take off the board, of course, Colonel leaving MASH. All right, that we talked about that the other day. That's one would be taken off. So, yeah, we all get that one. They really didn't do too much other than to say he was in a plane crash because he really wanted to be in the war. There was nothing overwhelming about it. It's just that people believe he actually died, and they're sending letters and all that to MASH. That's why it was a story. But the one that I saw that was the winner was the restaurant scene with Michael shooting the corrupt captain and Salazzo, who really resembles, or the former Governor Cuomo resembles Salazzo. He could play him in a heartbeat. All right, a couple of other things to give you. Dan, this is cut 9, and this is an interesting story as we end of the year. Here's Kid Rock firing off yesterday at Megyn Kelly, saying Bud Light made a mistake, but we don't need to kill them.
First off, I love Megan. We've been friends for a long time. But she's got this one wrong. Saying me and Dana don't speak for conservatives. Neither one of us ever said we did. I explained myself before on another program about Bud Light. I'm pretty sure they got the message. Do I agree with what they did? F no. And we held their head underwater for quite some time, and we heard them. But I'm not someone to keep punching somebody when they're down, when there's a whole lot more companies deserving of this treatment. And, and Dana has told me specifically, as a very good friend of mine, about, the things they've done through the years with Folds of Honor. So has Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, for that matter, and countless other things. And I'm like, I get it. They made a mistake. All right, I don't need to kill them.
All right. You know what, buddy, Dan? Am I sniffing fraud here with Kid Rock? Am I sniffing fraud big time with the UFC guy, or is he right?
I think it's a little bit fraudulent there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe some money exchange.
Yes. Maybe a tour coming up. Dana White, it's what, $100 million contract with mixed martial arts? No, the reason why we're keeping up on Bud Light, Kid Rock, it's not about Bud Light per se. This is the most successful conservative action that was taken. And maybe it continues to send a message to these others. And I hate to do that. We hate to be in this boycott thing. But what do you do when you see the actions of a company like Bud Light? There's not too much else you can do. By the way, I'll play you the cut of this guy in a minute. CNBC had on a guy who is the Rail Association president, I guess, of all these groups that depend on trains. Because of the nonsense of Biden and illegal immigrants. Listen to this nugget of the day. They've closed down the rail lines there around Eagle Pass and these places, Dan. And this guy in the CNBC clip says it's resulted already in hundreds of millions of dollars. He didn't say it, but I read it somewhere today. They're worried if this continues, and it's going to because of Biden, Dan, get ready for this. Within a month, America will run out of what? Avocados.
Oh, no.
Man.
Oh, gosh.
America is going to run
What are we
out
gonna
of
do?
avocados. Well, we can mock it all that we want. There's just one thing. Super Bowl Sunday. It's not a month. It's a few weeks more than that, right? But it's on the cusp of it.
Uh-oh.
Within a month,
Uh-oh.
avocados. Or best case, there are some. Can you imagine the price then of avocado toast and all that stuff?
Are you telling me we might not have guacamole on
That's
the
what
table?
I mean. There might not
Are
be
you
any
kidding me?
guacamole on
It's
New
the only
Year's.
thing avocados are good for.
Now, I am praying that it happens because then these people that don't pay attention to anything. What do you mean no avocados? Who's responsible for that? How are they going to blame Trump for the avocado shortage? No. It's going to go back to the border, and it's going to go back to Biden. So why are they shutting down the rail lines? They're shutting it down because of the crush of people, and they're trying to contain it. If they do that, farm products, etc., we're not going to get them. But, man, if it's one principal crop like avocados, I'd love to eat avocados every day, Dan. It's one of the most helpful foods for you. Problem? I'm not putting up with an avocado, watching an avocado row. You think it's ready.
We just won't buy them anymore. They're so frustrating. It's like by the time you finally get them, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, I forgot for 10 seconds. It's like having a dog or cat or something. How's the avocado looking over there? I think the avocado's okay. No. Don't eat me yet. So good, though. All right, phone lines. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how I'll get you in. You got something else?
Nope.
Okay. All that straight ahead. I'm coming to you here. Keep them coming. The great thing we're looking for, how do they get rid of a character? Henry Blake doesn't count. It wasn't a big thing how they got rid of him. It was more the reaction to it, though. And any outstanding one on Twitter, Dan?
Twitter's been going hot, Dom. It's a great side question for Twitter. How about, let me make sure this one isn't on here. Nope. Jack Bauer surrendering to the Russians in 24.
Oh, you know what? I dropped by that point because I couldn't stand how it went downhill.
Yeah.
That first season was as good as anything. I was on 9 to noon with Jim then. We talked about it incessantly. All right, 855.
Question for you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't mean
Yeah.
to. So Manrico on Twitter says, bringing up those names from WWDB last hour, did you work with a Bob Grant? And when he was there, I've always considered him to be a Giants of talk radio. He was extremely entertaining. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, he was one of the Giants. And, oh, man, particularly in New York, Dan. Get off my phone. I think Mark Levin adopted that later on. He was there just about a year or so, I think, before I was. But it was that type of place. Can you imagine breaking in? This is like Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, all in one spot. Dr. Jim Corey at an event. It was a laser thing. And he goes to the doc, let me try the laser here. Can you imagine? I'm standing, what the hell?
Just back and forth from some old Bob Grant from WABC.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know if anybody with a bigger – it's because Rush never engaged like that with callers. As far as going after a caller and saying stuff, Dan, yeah, Bob Grant. I did New York radio filling in. I got to tell you, I could throw fastballs when we have people that deserve it. In New York, every second – I was doing the afternoon drive, WOR. Every caller, it's a fight. I mean, it's a fight. The ones that differ versus the other. This is like mean city.
Yeah.
Mean city.
And then you have like Mike Francesa who falls asleep with people on the
Oh,
phone.
yeah. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in. Coming to your calls next on Talk Radio 1210.
Rich Zeoli.
Senator Rand Paul joins me. It's amazing that we have the FBI working like this with big tech and the corporate media to suppress things like you going after Anthony Fauci over gain-of-function research and the lab leak.
Without question, Elon Musk is right. It is true. They became an arm of the government. They essentially became the censorship arm of government. My job would be a lot easier if I could find an honest progressive who remembered that they used to be big defenders of the First Amendment.
Rich Zeoli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
This is Larry Steinitz of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. This holiday season, invest in some LED Christmas lights. LEDs last years longer than regular lights, which means less electronic waste over time. Also, LED Christmas lights are far more energy efficient, wasting less energy as heat, which means a smaller electric bill. And be sure to recycle old Christmas lights at appropriate e-waste facilities. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
It's a Hessert holiday at Hessert Chevrolet, and that means it's time to get the best price on a new Chevy this year. Hessert has a huge inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles and will pay top dollar for your trade. Online or in person, shop Philadelphia's most convenient, hassle-free car dealership. Enjoy a Hessert holiday and get to Hessert Chevy today. Online at HessertChevy.com. Chevy, together let's drive.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
See dealer for complete details.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
More than 200 nurses at Suburban Community Hospital in East Norriton and Lower Bucks Hospital in Bristol are now on strike. More than 20,000 people have been killed in the war between Israel and Hamas. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has declared bankruptcy days after being ordered to pay $148 million for defaming 2 Georgia election workers.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Free speech lives here. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
All right, welcome in. We will have, I just saw the smoke from the heavens. Dan will have a Dom's Money Melody today at about 2:13.
Yeah.
You can't stop this train. Continues on.
It's not related. Should I change it up? Because it wasn't related to Christmas. It's related directly to the side question, but there's no Christmas tie to it. Do you think since this is our last show before Christmas, we should do another?
No, I think you already have it done. Let's do that. Yeah, people love that. Yeah. It is a good one as far as how do you get rid of a character, particularly a beloved character? You know, one of the things that told me, Dan, that 24 was going to be a great show, the end of season 1, Kiefer Sutherland, he's been great in a lot of roles, but that is Jack Bauer. That's a character of a lifetime. They kill off his wife, Nina, who was the spy, kills off his wife in the last 2 minutes of season 1. You don't get rid of a major character, Dan, with 2 minutes left in the year.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what they're saying? You don't know what the hell we might do. That's right. We're killing her off. It's like, wow, I gotta watch this next year.
That caller number 1, it's been said on Twitter a couple of times, but I think it's definitely deserving of a Mount Rushmore answer.
Up now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Joe in Bordentown. Hey, Joe, welcome in.
Greetings, Dom.
Greetings, Joe.
This is Czar again, by the way.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Czar.
I said it on Twitter, too. Great. Thanks for calling in, Joe.
Yeah, what happened? What happened in your winter residence, Czar, in Russia? I've always wondered about the Winter Palace.
How'd you end up in Trenton?
Maybe you should have gone to Miami. I mean, things would have turned out better.
Well, the Amber Room disappeared. I don't know what happened to that. But, anyway, the answer to the side question would be when Randy Quaid flies his plane into the mothership and says, "Hello, boys, I'm back," on Independence Day.
Not too far from the truth with Randy Quaid, as we've been told, right?
I
don't
know
know.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how much of an acting stretch you need to get into that. That is a
What a
really,
hero, though.
really good one. Oh, yes, without a doubt. Yeah. We could do a whole thing on, well, the scene I think of, taking one for the team. Yeah, that's really good. Is at the end of The Dark Knight when the police chief is telling his son, "We will hunt him, son, because we have to." And the music swells, and Batman is you hear the dogs barking at him, running at him. Now that is taking one for the team, without a doubt. Let's go to Robert in Bensalem, who's been waiting. Merry Christmas, Robert. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys. And before I say anything, I just want to say I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas weekend.
Well, thank you. The
same
highlight
as well.
mine is going to be, I have this present for Roe, and I will tell you when I come back on Tuesday, we're off on that day. If this isn't the all-time, Robert, then I don't know presents. I've been banking everything on this. This has been a team of experts led by Dan. It's like
Setting high.
It's like
setting high. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes,
Go
yeah.
ahead, buddy.
It's like the Warren Commission that we brought together here to get to the bottom of this one. They're far and
Okay.
wide. Yes.
I assume you know what you're doing because setting a high bar as far as expectations with your spouse is a very dangerous thing to do, Dom. I hope you are able to follow through properly.
Well, look,
But
I'm aware of that, but you know what? I sometimes go nuts and I fly against the conventions. That's what I explained. You're exactly right. That's good advice. I don't care on this. The whirlwind is out there.
You're willing to throw it all to the wind. That's
Oh,
great.
yes.
You were talking about professional athletes that smoked, and I remember Earl the Pearl Monroe was a chain smoker, and Jim Leland, who was manager for the Pirates for a long time, used to smoke on the bench. And the funny thing about that is they had a player on their team named R.J. Reynolds.
Oh,
and he's sitting on the bench next to R.J. Reynolds smoking a cigarette, and the announcer says, "Well, I'm sure somebody's going to make a joke about that, but it won't be me."
It's unbelievable,
I thought that was
but
hilarious.
imagine this was a great family doctor, Dr. DeCina. But Robert, I look back on him thinking, I don't know now. Or he would say
I've
stuff.
seen doctors, I've seen priests.
I had to
I've
get a
seen
B12
priests
shot,
smoke.
and he would say, "Drop your pants." I mean, it's that kind of stuff. I mean, it's like.
Anyway, for my side question, I know I'm staying close to home, sort of, but I'm going to stay with The Wire because I thought the way Snoop checked out was classic. She said to Mike when she finds out that he's going to kill her instead of her killing him, she doesn't beg, she doesn't cry.
Yes.
She just says, "Does my hair look okay, Mike?" And he says, "You look good, girl." And I just thought that was powerful. You know?
Oh, that
But
was
anyway, you guys
great.
have an
You
amazing
have a-
holiday, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Robert, very much. What a great guy. Dan, the scene too with Snoop coming in to get the what is it, to seal up where they're going to shoot people, and the why am I blanking on the device? To put nails in the nail gun.
Yes.
And
the high-powered nail gun.
Yeah,
with
the high-powered nail gun, and the guy goes, "Oh, it'll be about $1,000." Just takes out 20s, and it's just right. Here's another one.
You know what the saddest death I think of the entire series is?
Is what?
First season. When Stringer decides it's more apparent rather than having him as his, guy under the Bodie's wing, decides to kill off Wallace, Michael B.
Yes.
Jordan's character.
Yes.
Just so sad. And Bodie has to be the one to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Bodie was a very, very good character. Conflicted,
character, yeah.
gaining knowledge of stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I still think Omar, though, dwarfs every character in there. Omar's in the top 10 characters of any TV show that's ever appeared to me. You just can't concoct an actor like that to pull it off. It's mind-boggling.
And Sherrod's death. Remember when Bubbles took the kid under his wing, and then he got into drugs, and then he overdosed because Bubbles left out the heroin.
Yeah. Oh, well, but second best character, probably Bubbles.
Oh, great character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
All-time great.
they redeemed Bubbles was beautifully done. All right. I could say The Wire is the #1 show of all time. Arguably, it is. It's almost impossible to beat it.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, I think it's my personal #1.
Yeah.
Drama.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
855-839-1210. We got room for you. We'll get you on board. We'll get a winner today. Thanks to Captain Chucky's. We love crabcakes.com. Coming up, though, I do want to play a couple of, imagine no avocados. And throughout the week next week, we'll look back on the year, and we got a lot of sound. It's always interesting to put it together, look back over the year and say, oh, yeah, play that cut again and again and again. What would you say, Dan, the best drop is that people like? Is there one particular that
of the year?
Of the year.
Yeah.
Or in general, yeah.
On our show?
Yeah. You think it's that, huh?
I have people call in and say that they've taken that audio, and whenever they get a text message, they have Lindsey Graham saying,
oh,
God. Yeah.
He is a menace, though. He's out there in the abortion stuff again. He won't stop. He won't go away. And people of South Carolina will send him back again and again and again.
There are a couple others, though, that get frequently used.
Yeah. That is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one more that's used often. It didn't happen this year, but we still use it. Probably one of our most frequently used drops of the year.
Yes. Well, because of say I messed up here by the friendly back and forth. That was an invigorating, and that interview with Sharif Street yesterday was ready to go off the rails, but nothing like Stolstein.
Yeah, so that's Jack Stolzheimer, DA down there in Delco, right?
Yeah.
And, and he had this one specific incident where like we played a clip. I guess we were talking about Stolzheimer becoming the SEPTA person, and would that be a good idea, the prosecutor?
No, becoming, was he Larry Krasner or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had a commenter yesterday say they just love how much Stolzheimer says the word blogs.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, any of the Biden things, you could put the top 10 demented things he said at any point over the course of
Give me a break. Gosh almighty.
But it just is, it's not sad anymore because he's going to continue to do it. By the way, I do have great list put together. What ifs in 2024 in the election? Biden drops out. Trust me, he's not going to drop out. You know, all these smarter than the room types are, oh, I told you so. Biden's not going to drop out. One of the reasons he's not going to
give me a break.
Drop
Gosh
out.
almighty.
She's not dropping out. Dr. Jill. No way. They're going to stay there no matter what. 855-839-1210. Get in now with Dom and Dan.
We use a lot.
Yeah. All right. And later, maybe this hour here, we got our TV guy come up. But later I'll ask, what's the most asked for of Jim's impressions? I think it's Stern, but I could be wrong. You think so, Dan? Stern?
I think it's somebody else. Someone dearer to
Mark
Philadelphia.
Levin?
Nope.
No?
Merrill Reese.
Oh, Merrill Reese? I think it's Stern. And he goes off on Stern because he gets the personality of Stern.
I mean, I'm going off of personal bias. I mean, I had the guy introduce me at my wedding as Merrill Reese.
That's okay. Yeah, yeah. Why did you do the Merrill
that.
Reese? You thought that's who they would recognize, huh?
Well, not only recognize, there's such a tie of Merrill Reese. And out of Jim's impressions, he does amazing. Okay. Jim, your mic's on, by the way, but you do amazing impressions. But the Merrill Reese one sounds so much like Merrill Reese.
I'm glad you like it when I imitate Merrill Reese. Now, you should do Merrill Reese saying, get the name right, D-O-M.
Look, I would have done it at the wedding, and I would have said, you're on once, you're going to get one set of change. You run twice, and you're going to get married. See, I would have had a little play off.
Quality of impressions.
I would have had a little play off of the married there. I would have worked it in.
Well, yesterday they had me trying to do a Dom Giordano impression, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
It just was. I mean, I could do the hand motion, no problem whatsoever.
Wait a minute, is that
a
Tommy Cutlets reference?
Is that an anti-Italian?
That's an anti-Italian reference. There's no hand use in this show. People can
Mr.
see
Kelly, the Irish, coming after the Italians.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm part
what it is.
Italian, so and sometimes I talk with my hands as well.
But the thing of it is, I don't think I'm using it that much. I mean, it's a very limited usage.
It's not your fault, Tom.
Okay.
I haven't seen you do it in a while, but I remember when I first started to work with you, and we were sitting so close, and you could just see the hands moving. But there was so much going on in those days that your hands were just all over.
The only thing I do know, I wear out the knees of jeans, the left knee.
Oh yeah.
First. And I know what it's
So when
from.
Levi's wants to put a hole in their jeans, they just call Dom Giordano?
Just by rubbing when the motion starts and going back and forth, particularly if it's an agitated point.
You ever think of buying weathered jeans just so you already have the holes?
No, I hate the hole. And I have one at home. It's just, but one wears out. It left knee for some reason. All right. It's the holiday season. We all know what that means. In addition to presents under the tree, it's time to use those FSA, HSA benefits we've been accruing all year. If your benefits are still available, now's a great time to reach out to my good friend, Dr. Robert Bentz from the Bentz Dental Group to set up that appointment for a consultation. Now, wait a minute. I told you about Dr. Bentz here, Dan. What the heck am I doing? I meant to tell you about another medical operation. That is, the winter months are rolling in, and I'm excited to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements Deck the Hall sale. That's going on right now. We're talking up to a whopping 78% off on all products, including essential omega-3s, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and a lot more. The savings last the entire month. And did I mention that Rescue is offering you 15 special health-boosting products at under $20? To order, call 800-26-LIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a Rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. You can fortify your immune system, boost energy levels, and support overall well-being with Rescue selection of over 50 high-quality natural supplements. No codes needed. Save up to 78% site-wide, so stay healthy this holiday season. Just shop res-q.com. Do it today.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
Increase your holiday spending power with an American Heritage Credit Union Cash Rewards MasterCard. Now through January 31st, 2024, earn 3% cash back on everything you buy, including holiday meals, decor, gifts, travel, and more. Go ahead and treat yourself to something extra with the cash back you earned. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/credit cards today. Insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
40 days to lose 20 to 40 plus pounds. With NJ Diet, it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can shed that fat. Then NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or from anywhere with live online video consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or visit njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Tom Show with Dan and Jim here at the controls on a Friday right before Christmas. Side questions, real good one. Exiting character. They're dying or leaving the series. How do they get rid of them? What's the scene particularly? You know, telling a story about them. It's more the scene, I think, that does it. Let's go to Rosalind National Park on Talk Radio 1210. Rosalind, Merry Christmas. Thanks for the wait. What do you have?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's Fran. I'm looking at the line. I apologize, Fran.
That's okay. Merry Christmas, Tom.
Merry Christmas.
My exit is LA Law, and thanks to Jim, when I was chatting with him, he told me the character's name. I had forgotten that. Rosalind Shea, played by Diana Moldauer. She's
Okay.
having a discussion in the hallway with Richard Dysart, and they finish the conversation. The elevator opens. She walks in and falls to her death.
Oh my God. What? Wow. Yeah,
Ask
that's
Jimmy. He knows.
all right. That is a good one. Yeah, the elevators.
death.
The elevator scene in Speed
That's a good one.
is really good. Yeah.
No, but in this one, I think that she was a real witchy attorney or something.
Okay.
I forget who she played, but
Yeah.
apparently her character is in the hallway. The elevator door opens and she falls to her death.
I'm here to report I interviewed the main character who was the LA Law character. It's Corbin
Burnson.
Corbin Burnson. Dan, wonderful guy. It was at the Suburban Home Show versus Big P, who tried to have his boys attack me at the Philadelphia Home Show.
Why are these guys at the home shows? It seems like Comic-Con guests.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Well, but Corbin Burnson, Dan, was only at the Suburban Home Show out of Montgomery County, and it was kind of a beat-up place. At least Big P was in downtown Philadelphia in a big, in I think the convention center or something where this
you
broke
gotta
out.
watch The Sopranos Christmas.
Yeah.
The episode where Big P, they're like doing the flashbacks and he's
Yeah.
playing Santa Claus. He walks in with the bottle in his hand and he's throwing stuff around, and because they knew that he was wired
Yeah.
at that point.
I got to say, the Big P incident, what would Dan do if he were there producing?
Oh, laugh.
Would he have stood over top of? I had a producer, Jim, who's on KYW, and a guy bothered me at an event.
I remember this.
Oh, man, when he stood up, Dan, the guy wrinkled and went us outside waiting for the bus.
How big is Big P?
He was
Is he like
about
a big
270,
guy?
280.
But like tall or?
No, fat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he was 6 feet. Maybe not.
I should
Yeah.
have never Googled his name. That was a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Bosses,
yeah.
please don't check my
Yeah,
history.
exactly. Yeah. But the son, as I told you, was like a human bowling ball, and he had the open shirt and the chest hair and a giant chain. I couldn't take my.
No.
I was ready to say, just to break the tension, "Hey, where did you get that chain?" Can you imagine? But I don't want somebody hitting me in the back of the neck. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just like you're on the air. I'm doing a show, worried that the guy's going to hit me in the back of the neck and start strangling. And the security guards come over. Big crowd, but nobody gets taken out of there. I don't know how the segment ended, Dan. I wish I had the tape of
I
that.
might
It
just be
was-
so starstruck that I would have no idea what to do there.
yeah, even I was.
Would you expect me to step in and,
Yeah, well, I want somebody to. Dan, I got a guy breathing on me behind me. This guy, and all I can think of, he's going to curse. I don't want that on the air. I don't want to say his real name, his
I can't
character.
even say his name. Yeah, his character name.
You know what? If that's out there anywhere, I'd love to hear what was said and what was not.
gotta
It
be
was,
around
yeah, it was pretty tense.
Vincent Pastore.
What do you
Yeah.
think that was? 2000. We were still in the old station at
Yeah.
that point in time. So it's got to be around 2004, 2005.
I think so. Yeah, something
be
like
around
that.
that area.
Yep, exactly. All right, our buddy Gary in Newtown. Gary, Merry Christmas. How you doing? Yo, Gary. It sounds like an airport action maybe
Harry
going on
sounds
there.
like he's at the home show.
Michael and Clayton, Dan's got a good one. Then we'll go to Scott Cronick here. Let's go to Michael. Hey, Michael, good afternoon. This is on my list. I'm glad I didn't say it yet.
Yeah, good afternoon. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Michael. Hey,
The
Michael,
movie,
is Clayton, New Jersey still the smallest municipality in New Jersey?
I don't know about the smallest, but I know we had some of the lowest property taxes in the state.
Well, that's good. I think it is the tiniest, yeah.
But they just got done reassessing everybody, and a lot of people's property tax or assessment doubled. But we don't know what the rate's going to
Okay.
be.
Well, I'm glad you told me, Dan. Put them on the naughty list for 2024. Clayton, New Jersey's got some explaining to do. I have to look into this. My eyes turning over toward Jersey. Who do you have, Michael?
I have in the movie Total Recall 2. I don't know the name of the character, but it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger. They slowly lower him into a vat of
Yes.
molten level to melt them down.
Yes, that's Terminator 2. He takes one for the
not Total
team.
Recall, I
Ultimately.
don't think. Yeah.
No, it's Terminator 2. Yeah.
Right, because I had it
yeah.
queued up, dude. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some theme music for.
Oh, that's
It's a
great.
great one, though.
Terminator.
Great write-off.
The first Terminator is good, Dan. But Terminator 2 has everything, particularly Linda Hamilton's character is even more malevolent. I mean, my God, she's good.
She's still doing it too in like current Terminators.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They really, that's the first female character they really pumped up kind of, for the role and all. She looked, you think of her in Terminator as the waitress, then think of her in Terminator 2. There's quite a progression there. All right, coming up, Scott Cronick, our TV guy with us. Also, Dan, I see the real Guido is checking in here. We'll get to him, too, coming up. And Dom's Money Melody, all straight ahead on Talk Radio 1210. All right, it's a holiday season. We all know what that means. In addition to presents under the tree, it's time. No, why am I out of sync here? Let me tell you about Captain Chucky's here. Christmas approaches. All right, we're counting down. I know I'm going over to get my stuff on Sunday. Row has me tagged for it. But Captain Chucky's open today, tomorrow, and many of them on Sunday. Time to get your orders in. Remember to try Captain Chucky's brand new product, Philly Famous Clams Casino. Mouth-watering addition to your table. Ask your local Captain Chucky's for availability. I know where I go in Flowertown. This is a huge hit. And it's a perfect time, to do something new. Check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings, delicious stuff, mushrooms, various salads. You'll save a lot of time. They can really help you set up the entire table. Check out all those side dishes, ton of them, desserts too, soups, appetizers. My personal favorite, the Dom roll. Of course, the star, several choices of the breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. They use only the highest quality ingredients. And holiday time, shrimp. Their Gulf shrimp, huge hit. It's always wild caught, never farm raised. Perfect time to order today, right now, for all your holiday entertaining. No gathering is complete without a delicious tray of your favorite seafood from Captain Chucky's. So visit Captain Chucky's locations everywhere. New owners, Frank Velacci, Michaela Burns in Colmar, John and Cindy Clark in Huntington Valley, Tony and Jamie Parson in Cinnamenton, in Runnymede, New Jersey. See the Vogelsang family in Flowertown, the Smereglia family. In Ocean City, see Chris and Donna Ryan. In Seattle, the McCann family. Seattle and Ocean City, open Fridays and Saturdays, noon till 5. Congrats to Sam Cancelleri, Irish Mike McGarry, and Medford, New Jersey location. And Northeast Philly, the Home Circle location, now open. Congrats to the Graziani family. Remember the website for everything. We love crabcakes.com.
It's a Hessert holiday at Hessert Chevrolet, and that means it's time to get the best price on a new Chevy this year. Hessert has a huge inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles and will pay top dollar for your trade. Online or in person, shop Philadelphia's most convenient, hassle-free car dealership. Enjoy a Hessert holiday and get to Hessert Chevy today. Online at HessertChevy.com. Chevy, together let's drive.
Your way or no way at Hessert Chevrolet.
See dealer for complete details.
This holiday season, give cheers to whiskeys worth knowing. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, America's oldest registered distillery, is aged and handcrafted, toasted and charred new American white oak barrels. Also, impress your guests with the award-winning Woodford Reserve, a perfectly balanced bourbon that comprises more than 200 distinguishable flavor notes. Visit your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store to pick up both of these whiskeys on sale through the holidays. Cheers to whiskeys worth knowing. Please drink responsibly.
Virtua Health is here for you, all of you. Here for the run-of-the-mills, the out-of-the-blues. Here for everything in between. And with our Rowan University partnership, we're here, rethinking the way academic medicine feels. Welcome to a more convenient, smarter healthcare experience. And that's more good for everyone. Find a Virtua physician or location near you at virtua.org. Virtua Health, now more than ever, here for good.
This Christmas, unwrap the magic at Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. Discover diamonds that dazzle with the 5 C's: color, cut, clarity, carat, and the cozy touch. Our diamonds showcase vibrant color, precision cut, unparalleled clarity, and a carat that captures hearts. And of course, there's the cozy difference, where every piece is a masterpiece. Make this holiday unforgettable with a gift from Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. Visit us online at cozyjewelers.com. Visit us today and let the 5 C's of Cozy light up your Christmas.
Calling on North Wales to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, it is Dom time every other week. Our entertainment director from Atlantic City, Scott Cronick, joins us here on the Dom Show. Might be a shootout here, Dan. Might be a little bit of back and forth. First time with Scott. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Let's go to Scott. Hey,
I
Scott.
love a good fight.
All right, Scott.
I
Well,
love it.
welcome in. It's a Festivus for the rest of us. You will not be allowed to leave until one of us is pinned here, just like the Costanzas.
Scott, do you have your Festivus poll up? Weren't you a supporter at one point?
Was I where? The quarter? Yeah.
No. Weren't you a Festivus poll guy? Weren't you celebrating Festivus? I thought you had a Festivus party one year at one point.
No. That's not. I might look like George Costanza, but I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
George Costanza.
All
Yeah,
right. Well, now Dan tells me you're in love with Maestro, Leonard Bernstein. I don't know if you say Stein or Steen. I've mixed up both of them here. The preferred, and I've been a bit distracted. A lot of stuff getting ready for professionally, and I watched it, large parts of it, and I was let down a little bit. The chain smoking was
No,
like overwhelming to me.
Listen, as usual, Dan is wrong.
Okay.
I did not fall in love with it. I actually was really disappointed in it. And I was really looking forward to it. I'm actually a Bradley Cooper fan, and he was talking. I listened to him on Howard Stern about the project and a bunch of other places, and it just seems so passionate about it. I was really like, oh my God, this is a guy's passion project. It's going to be an unbelievable film. And Dom, I was bored to tears.
Yes.
Number one, and number two, I thought that it was a little bit of for someone who's trying to play. I thought it was a little bit of aloof. Like I feel like you didn't really dig deep into him as I thought they would. Like I don't know. It was a very odd depiction, I think, of him. And I guess he was a chain smoker and all that stuff. That didn't bother me, but I thought his performance was a little annoying after a while. Like I didn't buy into it, believe it or not. And I was really disappointed in it. And I do like some of the choices he made. I like, that he filmed a lot of the past stuff in black and white, and how and I love the style of it. And I think the depictions of the eras that he was representing as he kept, advancing in age. I thought all that was brilliantly done. And I really thought probably the best part is when he does that 6-minute conduction, of that symphony toward the end of the movie, and he really did that. Like Bradley Cooper studied that to make sure that he was able to do that, and it was really brilliant and really well done. But I thought overall, Don, I was bored, dude.
I agree.
I don't know about you.
No, that's what I'm trying to convey to you, and I was really let down. I didn't even get through the 50s period piece. Later on, rightly or wrongly, he was caught up in kind of a nonsensical progressive stuff with wild groups. He became identified with that. Not that he was overly doing it. I don't know if they show that in the film later on.
Yeah. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I don't remember. I think at some point I was zoning out a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. And that's part of the problem maybe with me watching big feature movies on TV at home sometimes. Like if they're not engaging me, I kind of stray off a little bit. I might be looking at my phone here and there, in the movie theater, I don't do that.
I couldn't be more in sync. I'd like to fight with you for good radio. I can't fight. You encapsulate. I really like it. I get the guy's genius, bigness. The name is nobody can dominate like that. Dan had something.
Yeah, despite you guys both disliking it, you said that it's a potential Oscar hopeful, Scott.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of claims of like anti-Semitism and all because of the nose that he was wearing, and even through all that, you think that this film is artsy enough and crappy enough, essentially, to be an Oscar nominee?
I do, and because he's already gotten some Golden Globes nods, and again, I can't say that I hated it. I just think that and I think it's that Oscar kind of movie where people feel like, oh, it's artsy, it's good, and in this case, that's not the case. Like it is artsy, but it's not that good. Like when Roma came out on Netflix a couple years ago, and that was supposed to be this big Oscar, that was artsy and good, right? And I got that, but this one I think is artsy and it's okay. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's okay.
We're going to see that conflict on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever the TV, as the Oscars come up, Scott, where some of the critics have to do that. I'm glad you're not one of them. And the general public is not going to be enamored with this. I don't see it.
Yeah, and I'll give you the other one, the May December, which is also on Netflix. That came out. A brilliant director, Todd Haynes, who I love Todd Haynes' work in the past. He made Dark Falls last time I was out with. Just a great movie, as well as some other things in the past that he's done, and I'm a big fan. And this is already getting Golden Globe nominees for Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore, and I forget the main supporting actor. And it's about based on a true life story of a woman who has a 20-some-year-old woman who has an affair with a seventh grader, eventually marries him, and then Natalie Portman plays an actress who comes to their home to study them so that she can depict them on in a movie correctly after she does some undercover work, and what she does and how her insertion into their lives affects things. And again, I was really excited. Love Todd Haynes, and it was quirky and artsy and all that stuff, but again, boring.
Yeah,
at
gotcha.
times. And
No,
I love a lot of the choices
yeah.
the director made, and hated a lot of the choices the director made, including a very ambiguous and not very satisfying ending.
Scott, what do we have upcoming, either TV, film, entertainment, something
I have a
Scott
specific
Cronick is
question.
looking
I'm
for? Go
genuinely
ahead.
and I'm dropping
Yeah.
this on you, Scott. I
Yeah.
apologize, but I'm just genuinely curious. Have you checked out Timothy Chalamet and Wonka yet? Because it's getting really good critical reviews, and I was not expecting that.
No, my wife made me promise that I'll wait for her to go see that. We'll probably see it over the holidays. But a really good friend I trust said he liked it, and everything is good. But it does look a little hokey for me. But you know what? That's fine for a nice Christmas family movie. I'm sure all the people that I know that have seen it have said it's worth checking out.
Okay. Coming up, what's
Absolutely.
the number
Now,
one thing on your list, Scott?
big weekend for movies. I want to see Ferrari, starring Adam Driver and directed by Michael Mann. That's at the top of my list because I love both of those, that actor and director. Aquaman, I am not looking forward to that in the least bit. I think it's going to be awful. I read somewhere that said it was good, but not as good as the first one, and the first one was horrendous. So I can't imagine how bad.
I have a
Aquaman
quote from a
2 is.
critic here, Scott. Quote: "Some films are so stupid you can swear individual brain cells are dying as you watch them. Then there's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, during which it felt like my entire clumps of gray matter were giving up the gig in disgust and abseiling out of my ears."
Oh my God, that's awesome! Tonight debuted, or last night debuted, the new Zack Snyder movie called Rebel Moon. It's basically the Star Wars movie that Star Wars wouldn't approve him to make. Also getting horrendous reviews, but it's on Netflix, so I'll eventually watch that as well. And then there's I can't remember the movie off the top of my tongue. I don't know why I can't remember, but it stars Willem Dafoe, who's one of my favorite actors, and it's getting all kind of Oscar buzz already. No Golden Globe nominee. Dan, you could probably help me with the quick Google search, but it started today as well. Yes, Poor Things. Supposed to be excellent. Excellent. I'm really looking forward to that as well. So lots of good stuff to check for this holiday season, including a new George Clooney movie that I didn't know about that my mother told me about that apparently looks pretty good too.
What's going on in Atlantic City with you?
Atlantic City, we're getting ready for New Year's Eve. Of course, this is the town. You come celebrate New Year's Eve wherever you go. It's a big party at Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. We have the deal of the century, $50 for a 4-hour open bar from 8 to 12, a DJ, and then we even have a beat the clock thing going from 5 to 8 for $5. So I hope people come visit us on Tennessee Avenue for New Year's Eve.
Have a great one, Scott. Thank you. Thanks for a great year.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, guys.
All right,
Merry
Scott
Christmas,
Cronick with
Happy
us.
Hanukkah.
Dom's Money Melody coming up. Crossing Broad, Dan said the Eagles are over. The Phillies, we were talking $1 billion for 2 players with the Dodgers. They say we only have one shot at a championship. It's a little offbeat. I'll tell you what that championship is. Not exactly in the world of sports. That's coming up here. And Dom's Money Melody and your calls on Talk Radio 1210.
Join WIP's Devin Caney and John Johnson with Brent Selleck for the Birds New York watch party for the final game of the season at Maggie's Waterfront Cafe on the Delaware River. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Cheer on the Birds and take a picture with Brent and the championship ring. Enjoy $3.50 Miller Lite bottles and drafts. It's Brent Selleck with Devin Caney and John Johnson for the final Miller Lite watch party of the season at Maggie's Waterfront Cafe. Game date and time is to be determined, so check out 94WIP.com for info. It's Miller time, Philadelphia. Celebrate responsibly.
Designers, excavators, engineers, architects, listen up.
What are you doing? We're working here.
If you want to save time, effort, and money on your next underground utility project, start using Pennsylvania One Call Systems Coordinate PA application. Coordinate PA is the next generation of utility coordination that allows you to easily transfer and manage your complex projects from start to finish, all the way from the designer to the excavator. Be prepared for your next underground utility project with Coordinate PA.
Makes sense.
Visit pa1call.org to learn more.
Looking for a new Ford? Winter Ford has the vehicle for you. Choose from our large selection of new F-150s, Explorers, Escapes, and Bronco Sports today. Winter Ford also takes care of you after the sale. Stop in their service department with no appointment necessary. Call 800-428-4000 for offer details. Visit in person or online at winterford.com. Winter Ford, people you trust, service and value you'll love.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Hey, this is Norman Chaikin, also known as Norman the Floorman. I'll never forget my dad's last words. Norman, will you stop playing with that bow and arrow? No kidding, folks. If you're responsible for buying carpet for your company or organization, you need to call me now. I stock the largest selection of commercial carpet in the Delaware Valley. Call 800-220-RUGS. Call Norman the Floorman to save 50% off our competitor's best price. Now that's not chopped liver.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, last hour before Christmas. Let's make it a great one here on the Dom Show. Rand Paul, and Dan, I can't get it on Fox. You may be able to pull it up, and whatever catches your eye, puts out today. He does it the Friday or whatever the 22nd is, I think. The Festivus report. And apparently, it's argued that Seinfeld saw that, and that's where they got Festivus from. I'm not sure about that. I've seen that in a couple places. And the Festivus report is the worst, most atrocious government programs and spending for the year. And these are the headline I've seen. Egyptian tourism, things like this. They are mind-boggling what the government spends and that Rand Paul finds out about. So hopefully we'll give you a few of those. And it just you just can't stop them, despite the embarrassment, despite the amount of money, despite the deficits, despite people saying that we don't have money for this, that, and the other. Why are we spending this? Dan and I have
can
been
print it for you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Dan and I have been engaged in trying to get somebody on because we know how upset people were that money that's meant for veterans, the Veterans Administration, good chunks of it, significant money has been going from that money to people that are here illegally. So we're tracking the guy that was on the story. We're tracking the representative. And it's maddening to try to get these people on.
One of the many to come that you're about to hear about is Russian cats on a treadmill.
All right, there you go. Why the Russian cats on a treadmill?
Yeah, an NIH grant to study Russian cats walking on a treadmill. Barbie's used as proof of ID for receiving COVID Paycheck Protection Program funds.
Barbie?
Yeah, Barbies.
You had to bring in a Barbie, or I'm a little unclear.
No, I think they used government funds to buy Barbies.
Oh,
so
to buy Barbies.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I know swindlers used Barbie dolls to rob COVID relief fund when they were doing their identification images. They used Barbie faces, and
they used
so they had
Barbie
to buy
faces.
Barbies to
Right.
study.
Okay. To use that to do that. All right. It's stunning, and yet we continue to go through this. It shows you how vast the government is, how hard it is to get under control, and why there's just got to be more penalties for this type of nonsense. But it's the whole mindset. We're spending other people's money. Then the other mindset is it's a drop in the bucket because of how much money the government, particularly the federal government, spends every year. If you had someone who actually, could it be that Americans really want a lot of this money spent? Enough of them. Because people don't seem to do anything to those who are engaged in this. All right, so we got that on. Now, doesn't look like the Eagles are Super Bowl material. It's a little bit doubtful. The Phillies now are up against the Dodgers, who's Dan and I were. Oh my God! Look at the report alone. Killed a lot of people to print this. I'll have to be holding this up if you're on YouTube. You can take a look at it. It is stunning. The $68 million worth of military tank and vehicle treads ruined by the military. Okay? Because they were left outside in the open air. They were not covered or stored properly, Dan. I mean, who gets in trouble for that? $89 million worth in engines. By the way, that I'm looking at the picture of the Russian cat on a miniature treadmill. After having their brain cells snipped, Russian cats were forced to walk on a treadmill in Russian labs. This all thanks to U.S. taxpayers footing the bill. The Russian scientists, fueled with your money, posted videos of their catwalk studies, which showed shaved cats hooked up to electrodes and struggling to walk on a treadmill. You know what? This type of thing, not just because of love of cats. What kind of sick, and Fauci's not even there. I don't know if this is Rand Paul taking another shot at Fauci. We gave the Russians money after they did this to cats. Toward what purpose? And Fauci, by the way, is a big, I don't care about animals guy. Now, he is a huge, some of the experimentation this clown did, Fauci, on animals is reprehensible. It's definitely old school. Yeah, well, you can't justify everything. You have to be really, to me, if you're going to put animals through this kind of torment, et cetera, you have to be really on point. This is going to save human lives. If you can't meet that standard, you can't do it. It's pretty simple. And these goofball Russian scientists with cats and seeing them struggle.
I got one better for you here.
Yeah.
In the Festivus report, whoever writes this is genius. Like there's humor written into it as well.
Sergio Gore.
Oh, it is Sergio?
Probably our guy, Sergio.
Awesome.
Yes.
Here's another one. When you walk outside in the summer, you get hot. When Labrador retrievers are walked outside in the summer, they also get hot. Getting hot while walking outside in the heat might be obvious to you, but the United States Department of Agriculture allocated cutting-edge research funding to support a summer study that walked 16 dogs of 2 different colors and measured their rectal temperatures. Researchers found that Labrador's fur color did not affect their body temperatures after a hot summer's walk. That's it. That's a taxpayer-funded cutting-edge study. The Agriculture Research Center at the USDA, which funded the study at Southern Illinois University, gets $1.7 billion a year from Congress, but it's unknown how much this hot dog study cost a taxpayer. And final line, perhaps taxpayers should have Congress put USDA on a tighter fiscal leash.
Yeah, you know what? If you're president, you tell one guy, I want you to go over there. I want you to kick in the door. I want you to grill every one of these guys. Guess what? 10 hours of testimony. You're not getting any lunch or any bathroom breaks. Here's a jar. Pee in it. That's exactly what you're going to get. My God.
How about the Department of Homeland Security Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency having a 5-year diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility strategic plan, training their employees to be their, quote, authentic and best selves?
And the Barbie thing, I see what you're talking about now, using Barbie things to get COVID money by using that as your face, essentially. Various forms of Barbie. All right, I was about to say, too, Crossing Broad, Dan, is a brilliant website. They have Philadelphia Sports and Sports Talk Radio.
A lobster tank.
They have a story up today. Hey, face it, we're not going to win a championship with the Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, as much as I'm a fan. We can win a big championship, though. Not one, but two. 2 of them are sisters and a third woman. All 3 from the Philadelphia area, Dan, within 20 miles of Center City, Philadelphia. are finalists in the current Bachelor contest. So we can
Hey.
claim a championship if one of these women win. That's it. That's where we're going on the sports scenes.
Yeah, buddy.
exactly.
Let's switch our channels over to what is it,
There you go.
ABC?
Yes. All right. So this Festivus report, though, is incredible. And Fauci was one of the guys directing this money around the world. And, the Russian one, in addition to being obnoxious, what they did to cats, it reminds me the money these guys are throwing overseas. Wuhan lab, gain of function. That's a good idea. And it continues. How do we know it's not? And it's so vast. It's hard to get control over these people. That's why you need somebody dedicated day and night to be on this and to go after them and use every tool of government to stop them. All right, let's go to the real Guido, one of 3 Guidos that have been on the Dom Giordano show. He's in Philly on Talk Radio 1210. Real Guido, how are you doing? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Dom. I never miss a chance to say Merry Christmas to you and your family and the 1210 crew.
Well, thank you, Guido. How's the acting career? Anything that you've been doing?
Oh, yeah. There's a TV show going to be coming out soon called Sinking Spring.
Okay.
It's all about drug dealing in Philadelphia. And I was in the cop's funeral scene at City Hall. So, anyhow,
Hold on, wait. Can we back up a sec? We've often said that we would love to see The Wire written about Philadelphia. Are you telling me that you're in the upcoming? It sounds like it's going to be like The Wire for Philadelphia. I'm looking here. It's Apple TV Plus, Sinking Spring, based on a Dope Thief by Dennis DeFoya, based on a novel in a city following drug dealers. It sounds that's awesome, man.
Hey, I would bet on the Philly cops to be more offbeat and corrupt, et cetera, or tougher than the Baltimore cops. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. The Baltimore cops protected us when we were doing The Wire. We had to have a lot of protection because we were in some pretty seedy neighborhoods.
Well, wait a minute, Guido. I don't remember that. I remember some of the people like Denzel and others you work with. What scenes were you in The Wire? What were you in The Wire?
Well, the best one I was in was called Back to Amsterdam. Okay.
Yeah.
I was in that one, and
what were you, a cop?
Yeah, I was a cop. And what got me is they pull a guy out of a abandoned house with his pants down. What the hell's that? You know what I mean? You remember it now?
Yeah.
I got a question about that because that's one of my favorite episodes of all time. I love the Amsterdam storyline.
Yes.
And what they did in the show is they took an entire neighborhood block, a square block, and essentially hollowed it out, allowed drug dealing to persist in there legally, hoping that it would clear the surrounding streets. But I'm just curious from a production standpoint. You say they filmed that in Baltimore. Did they have like an abandoned stretch of land or did they have to get people out of their homes? Were the people living in their homes while you guys were filming? How did that all work?
No, we were in a real neighborhood, but half the houses were boarded up. Okay.
Wow.
And there was drug-smelling dogs walking through the neighborhood for the lots. But the Baltimore police really protected us while we did the scene. But
was there outside security besides Baltimore police, or was it just the police giving you guys the security on set?
Oh, we had security and Baltimore police.
Gotcha.
I think you'd have the U.S. Marines in Baltimore. Yeah, but great character too, Bunny Colvin.
Awesome character.
Yeah, awesome character. Well, Guido, thank you. Thanks for the continued connection over the years, and you have just been a part of the show forever.
If I watch Sinking Spring, what should I look out for? Were you a police officer there too?
Yeah. No, there's a cop's funeral at City Hall. There's about 150 people there, but they're featuring me and another guy walking into the funeral. We're American Legion guys wearing the military hat.
Now,
so you can't miss me.
I hope there was no Jim Kenney as an inspiration of what a mayor could be.
No. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks, Guido. Yeah, Dan, he can play any mob figure, and he's a great guy. Unbelievable events when he shows. I hope we see him this year at some events. Without a doubt.
You ever think of doing one of these crime movies?
Yeah, of course.
You play a couple good characters, I think.
Yeah.
You make a good DA.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Krasner. No, but that's not in the script. I don't care. I'll walk off.
Or the unsuspecting, because every mob film always has
Yeah.
the one mobster that looks like he just wouldn't be a mobster. I think you would play that part so well.
Oh, well, thank you for
Yeah.
that. That's high honor.
Yeah.
It might be anti-Italian, but it's high honor. Yeah,
no.
exactly. But Kenny is making the rounds, Dan. I've seen him on almost every TV thing and all, and radio and all that. Will he come on here to, can you imagine? Oh, my God. Tell him we'll have all the Wegmans favorite wines that he wants.
Oh,
We
were talking on the other side today that I do think there's a possibility that he comes on your show.
You do?
Because I think there's at least one bone in his body that's still a South Philly guy that calls out the BS when he sees it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got to be stewing to a degree about what's been done to him.
Yeah, he's only got like 7 or 8 days left. So
I think he's going to have to do it after he gets out.
Yeah, I'm fine. After he's back from Spain,
expose.
or wherever he is, I'm sure he's built up a lot. I'd like to invite him, Larry Krasner. I don't know who the third, to be sitting across me. We have 3 microphones. Oh, man. 855-839-1210. We are working, though, and that caller yesterday spurred us a little bit more, Dan, to get on the author of the SEPTA bill with the SEPTA prosecutor and Sharif Street, who agreed to come on. They don't have to be in studio. That would be better. And when they're arguing, since we have YouTube now, I'd be happy to put up giant poster boards of the bill. I need a little telestrator, but we'll work on that. This could be a first. I love the debate, particularly when you have a chance to jump in on one side or the other. All right, so 855-839-1210. It is time, though, for...
Why is my board here?
All right.
Here we go. Here it is.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Not bad this week. I'm sorry.
All right, we are playing for a holiday digital movie classics bundle, The Christmas Story, Polar Express, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. What is the backstory?
So I was going to do something related to our side question today, but I changed it up last second because I did think that it was Christmas, so I went and pulled another one. So I'm going to do my favorite band of all time. I've talked about them before, but they played they didn't play themselves, but we played a couple of their songs at the wedding, and I love them. They put out a couple Christmas albums, but here's one song, one of my favorites by them. Just curious if we can have our listeners tell us who that is, the singers of this great legendary Christmas tune. Dom, you ready for the clue?
Yes. Yeah, I think I know who it is. Yeah.
I love the vibe, man.
Yeah, I think I know who it is. So 855-839-1210. You got to grab a line now and jump on board. Hit us with who is it? You want the name of the group,
I want the name of the group.
Name of the group. That is singing that famous Christmas song. We'll get that, and we'll have a winner next on Talk Radio 1210.
Christmas card and ride.
Throw Brown, he's got him, far corner, touchdown, Penn State. History will be made December 30th as your Nittany Lions face the Old Miss Rebels for the first time ever.
Drills it, end zone, caught, touchdown, Penn State. Theo Johnson from Windsor, Ontario.
Penn State is in the Peach Bowl.
A dominating, wire-to-wire, complete performance.
Hear all the action Saturday, December 30th at 11:30 a.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, it's Rich. For years I've been talking about the great work my friends Stephanie and Matt and the entire team at Emmons have done for me and my home. Well, now Emmons can bring that same quality of work to all of your kitchen and bathroom remodeling needs. Emmons Roofing has really become the one-stop shop for all your roofing, siding, windows, solar, and now baths and kitchens. Trust the team at Emmons just like we did. They remodeled our kitchen and our bathroom in our former house, and we were so happy with the work they did. Do you have a property at the shore? Have the team at Emmons come out and take a look at the roof now. Small winter leaks can lead to big, costly repairs when the warm weather hits. So call 856-556-3229. Call today for a free estimate online at emmonsroofing.com or visit the Emmons Design Showroom in Cherry Hill. That's emmonsroofing.com. Be sure to tell them I sent you. Remember, for 6 years, I've been using Emmons on every project in my home. Excellent results. Outstanding people. EmmonsRoofing.com.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair is gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
This Christmas morning, unwrap your holiday favorites commercial-free on B101 from Mariah to Bing. We've got you covered. Listen to B101 commercial-free starting at noon Christmas Eve all through Christmas Day. Want to fill your home with holiday cheer? Ask your smart speaker to play B101 Philly. Enjoy on the radio, on your smart speaker, and on the free Odyssey app.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
It's the Money Melody.
Show me the money. Okay, let's hear the clue today for that Christmas bundle.
I'm dreaming of a white
Christmas.
Just
Love the
like
vibe.
the ones I used to know.
All right, let's try Lou in Cinnamonson. Lou, who's the group?
I believe that's Chicago.
It is Chicago. Nicely played, Lou. Merry Christmas. We'll put you on hold, and we will get that bundle to you, Dan.
You're a big Horns guy too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love Chicago. I love their whole philosophy, just about everything they've done.
Yeah, I'm the same way. They played like You're the Inspiration was a big part of the wedding, and there's something about Chicago's horns and horn sections in general that really sell me on bands. And I mean, the all-time great is Chicago when it comes to that. Down in Atlantic City, I got to see a tribute act to Chicago. They had the full horn section and everything, and they were great, but obviously not the originals.
Right.
But this is like,
are any of the originals still in the band?
I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. We've been through that. If there are 5 members and they have 2, then it counts.
Yeah, Robert
okay.
Lamb's still around.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Lee, James Pankow.
Okay. All right. So that's Tuesday. We'll pick it up again right after Christmas. Every day at about 2:13. Dom's Money Melody. All right. DJ sent me this, and it's a perfect holiday story. Cameron Diaz was appearing on a podcast, Lipstick Around the Rim, on the Rim. Lipstick on the Rim. Great name for a podcast.
Yeah.
And she said that, by the way, we should normalize separate bedrooms.
No.
Yep.
No.
She said, and her husband is in a popular band, a guitarist, I think. We need to normalize married couples sleeping in separate bedrooms. I will go and sleep in my room. You sleep in your room. We have the bedroom in the middle that can convene for our relations, the actress explained.
How many bedrooms you got, Cameron?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody's got a 3. What are these people in New York with a little apartment supposed to do? We'll have to improvise. I mean, that might be too much of a big estate thinking you can pull this stuff off with the separate bedroom.
Like, I know people that do it for medical reasons. Like, if one of the two's a snorer,
yes,
and the other can't sleep, then
I'm allegedly a snorer. I doubt that, though,
Allegedly,
very
yeah.
much. Yeah,
I think you might be.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I have none of the earmarks of it yet.
You really don't. I mean,
yeah,
you're a fit guy, but I snore, and I'm supposedly very skinny. But like Maisie and I would never consider that. I mean, we're newlyweds, but it's not something you and Ro would ever consider.
No,
right?
not at all.
Like, I don't understand where this is coming from, Cameron Diaz. Like,
yeah,
I feel like part of healthy relationships is going tonight with the person. There doesn't have to be sex acts or anything. But
oh, she's got that for the convenience. Hey, we put a sign up
get in
there,
the middle room. Yeah,
yeah, the middle room. That's always the middle room. Yes.
But I think it's important to go to sleep by their side and wake up by their side. It's
exactly. Just came out of the blue with that.
Man.
We'll see how. I'm just reporting on that one. The other story that the serious thing with the avocado we mentioned, Biden and the border, that has to be said. Now it's reported today that border crossers claiming asylum are so many They are being given court dates to have their cases heard nearly a decade out. Now, not all of them, but it's like 9.5 years you have to report in to hear your case. Now, it's already impossible to track these people. We're overrunning the country with it. And I don't even know if Biden's clever enough to think, let's do that to screw up the country, chaos, and these will be Democrat voters at some point. As much as this is taking on a life of its own, I'm hopeful that it will be up there this time around, that people will recognize, no, we can't continue to do this. I don't trust the Republicans, though. Big story next week, and then right after the break after New Year's is going to be, I'm suspect, Guy Reschenthaler we had on, he's a deputy chief whip in the House, and he kind of gave away a little bit. It seemed to indicate to me they're looking at saying, yeah, we'll give you the $61 billion for Ukraine, which is a non-starter, if you agree to these things on the border. Well, Biden could agree to anything, and they're just not going to do it. And then what are you going to do? They are not going to do it. All right, Dom, so what's your solution with the border between now and the election? My solution is to continue to hammer them on it. Use any mechanism that you have. I think impeaching Mayorkas on this might not be a bad idea, to bring out all these things in a forum where they'd have to report it. The media is reporting it to a degree. Even NBC yesterday had a guy, their reporter, saying that this is the most people I've ever seen. This is not sustainable. All right, so people are getting it, but don't make a bad deal. In other words, don't think, all right, we're going to hold them to this at the border. I don't think they're going to do it. Even though I think it would be in Biden's interest to calm down with the border now, to try to take it off the table a little bit. It is something Americans are paying attention to, but apparently they're not going to do it. I don't trust the Senate Republicans, Lindsey Graham, and you don't trust them even a little bit on this, though. So that's where we're headed. The other day, talking to Reschenthaler, it is not a pretty scene. And if you missed it, Dan, do you have that? I just wanted to play it one more time. We led off the show today with an update. Bill Malugian, a great guy on the border in Arizona. He confronts this guy just to know, well, how did you get here in Arizona? What country are you from? He's with a guy that has a Cincinnati Reds baseball hat, the brim and all that, right? And listen to what this guy from Guinea tells him.
Where are you from?
Guinea Conakry.
Where?
Guinea Conakry.
Guinea. Okay. And where in the U.S. do you want to go to?
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Why Philadelphia?
I have paper. I don't know the place. Let me check the place. I want to check the place.
Okay, so just an address in Philadelphia to go to? Okay.
So later on, they tell us it's a, quote, community center of some sort in Philadelphia. Even Steve Keeley hasn't gotten it out of Fox, and he's on Fox 29. I think they ought to tell us. I think this is the chain of how are these people getting here all the way from Guinea in West Africa. And why does he know he's targeting Philadelphia? What is it about Philadelphia? I don't know if he followed up more in that interview. We didn't find it, but we're watching this. It is beyond difficult to see what's happening here and breaking down the country. The upside, the New Yorks, the Chicagos, and these others, they can't handle it. They're inundated by it. Philadelphia is going to get about 32,000, it's guesstimated this year. Now, if that happens, I think you'll see some. I don't want that to happen because I don't think Sherelle Parker's in that camp, that what Jim Kenney has put forward here. All right, let me go to Gary in Newtown. Gary's on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary. Yo, Gary. All right. Second try around.
Second time today?
Yeah, I know. Well, look.
This is an insult because of the competition results?
Oh, no, I don't think so. He wouldn't do that.
I know.
Mike in Hamilton, always a good caller. Hey, Mike, Merry Christmas. What do you have today?
Merry Christmas, Dom. Hello?
Yes, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a character who went out in spectacular fashion and, in fact, took another character with him. That would be Hector Salamanca, who also took out Gus Fring.
Yeah, we kind of took that one off the board, though. I mentioned Gus and the whole scene. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have an alternate?
No, I don't. I didn't.
All right, that is a good one. Yeah, yes.
Can I thank Mike, because one of the best gifts that I got all year, since we're talking Christmas, Mike showed up to Mulligan's wearing the first not a Borowski t-shirt. And
that was a highlight. Was that this year or last year? I think it was last year.
Was it last year?
Mike, it was last year.
No, it was this summer.
Yeah, I think it was Dom's Year Down Day itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my family was here, and he wanted to show that he's not a Borowski. But
okay, yes.
I got to tell you, he sent that shirt. Now it's in my mom's possession. It's fascinating. It's the first ever shirt with my last name on it. So I'm a nobody. Thank you, man.
Much appreciated, Mike. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, that's one of the highlights. Next week we'll go over the year, but one of the highlights this year, Dan, I don't know how it could get any better than Kelsey Grammer. The way he ate the French fries at Mulligan's, I can see him now just doing that. And he's eating on it. It's getting him to riff into this artistic type of form. He did have the little nudgy guy that you were trying to box out there with him. Don't say this and don't say that. Box him out some more, you know.
Don't talk about this.
Don't talk about. We're told we can't talk about Frazier. We can't. I mean, my God, we got Frazier right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just one of the he's in the top 3 of big time public figures who were nice and did things without even being asked from me all time. And I've seen them all. I've seen the worst, Big P and all that. But this guy started tending bar.
Yeah, he went bartended, and he took a break from bartending because it's a tough job. And I didn't know where he went. So I walked through the back, and he was sitting there with the kids of Johnny, who owns Mulligan's, and just being a human with them. It was just so awesome to see. But youtube.com/@12WPHD. If you missed that show, go back and watch over the weekend. It was, I got to say, I think it was the best of the year.
I would say the events at Mulligan's this year were the highlight, simply because the Dom Giordano Day with the Neil Diamond,
Real Diamond, yeah.
The Borowski's there.
Shout out to Curtis.
And then to witness, or to actually have to be part of it. I mean, it didn't bother me. I've done stuff, under duress, but continuing the show when all of Wildwood was blacked out.
Yeah.
And we had both mayors there, Mayor Pete, and we had the mayor of North Wildwood. I'm kind of thinking these guys are giving us a play-by-play. Should they be out there telling these guys, put the power back on?
Entire island blackout, and we have both mayors with us.
Yes, and we have the Tommy McDonald, who's world-class engineer, walking around with a miner's thing on so he can see.
Yeah, he hooked us up to his car battery so we could stay on air.
All I know, it seemed like the beer was still flowing at Mulligan somehow or another. I don't know if they were signing IOUs,
were definitely still working.
how they were going forward, but everything else was closed down. Then, of course, the Kelsey Grammer day there. Now, that mob scene, I can see why we brought him in through the back. You couldn't come in through the front. There was no passage. And the fire marshal, also highlight this year, we were made assistant fire chiefs.
Yes.
I believe in Wildwood, and that still is there. And I'm also the head of the lifeguards, and you're the second head of the lifeguards.
We were made assistant fire chiefs prior to having all those people in the bar of Mulligan's.
That's
was it our duty to, shoo them out?
No, our duty was to say, bring more in. You can bring in whatever you want. That's my first official act. I kind of like the head of the lifeguards even more, though, in Wildwood. So we'll see what this summer
Still got to get that ATV ride on the beach.
That's right.
Awesome.
Well, that's one of my highlights too. Driving the tram car. And for some reason, I thought you can drive over the boards part of it. But steering it was fine. It wasn't any problem.
Yeah.
People don't pay attention.
Except for the people that had to get out of the way.
They literally just stand there. And don't they think, look at this maniac.
Watch the tram car, please.
I was ready to scream over the thing. I am not an authorized tram car driver. My God. All right, we'll take more calls coming up, and we will get a winner here today and for the week. Yeah, we just have footage of that somewhere. That and the 40-yard football, alleged 40-yard football throw. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get in. One more reminder, big game coming up. Of course, we have that going on Christmas Day. And this holiday season, all your wishes are coming true on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. $150 if your team wins. FanDuel has all your favorite bets. You do not have to be a football genius to do this. They have pre-made ones for you. And you really will like the FanDuel app. That's the beauty. It's very easy to use. No better time to get in on the action. Here's how you do it. FanDuel.com/Dom. FanDuel.com/Dom. D-O-M. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online, real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
We're expecting a low of 32 overnight. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, but we'll get up to around 48. On Sunday, 50 is the high. More clouds then 2. And then on Christmas Day, 54 and partly cloudy. On Tuesday, we are expecting some rain to roll in with a high of 56.
Is your home in need of new windows and doors, but you've decided to brave through one more cold season before making the plunge? Well, let me tell you why acting now will not only keep your family feeling warm all winter long while lowering your high heating bills, but also save you big bucks with the end of the year sale from the great people at Guida Door and Window. Guida is bringing back their biggest discounts of the year. Receive 40% off each window you buy. Yes, 40% off every professionally installed window. You'll also receive 40% off any door, including entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. And don't worry about touching your holiday money because Guida will start your project with no money down and allow you to pay it off interest-free for up to 12 months. If you need new windows and doors, you need to go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these huge savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires December 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Your neighborhood grocery outlet has the name brands you love, all at shockingly low prices. But do you ever wonder how we do it? Simple. We buy opportunistic items for less and pass the savings along to you. When a brand has excess inventory from packaging or manufacturing overruns, they call us. There's no club membership needed. So stop by your local grocery outlet today and let the bargain hunt begin.
Grocery Outlet Bargain Market.
The holiday season is right around the corner. Give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Steel. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dave, we got breaking news here. The Supreme Court has rejected an appeal from the special counsel to expedite the Trump immunity case. See if you can find in print. I know Fox has Jonathan Turley on the phone, so they couldn't get him in studio. That just came down. Supreme Court rejects the appeal from special counsel to expedite the Trump immunity case. Now, this is not whether or not Trump is immune from prosecution, because he claims that in one of the arguments as president. But rejecting this, you know what Jack Smith was up to here? He's trying to get Trump convicted before the election, or even before, we get through as early as possible. Now, the timelines on this tell me they're going to lose the March date, although that's not exactly set in stone. Jonathan Turley is arguing, but it seems as if the March date of this would be out. When does the Supreme Court rule on it then? You know, your guess is good as mine with all that's piled up here. So that tells me if Jack Smith cannot try Trump in this case in March, the calendar's kind of jammed. And that means he could get pushed back, that we could see this going on sometime right before the election. All right? Or after. This is a big moment here, the timing of all these trials. And this is a win for the Trump side on this. You already know about I think the January 6th trial, the guy who said they weren't trying to stop certification. That is now going to be the primary thing here. Yes, Dan.
I don't have any more hard information on it. I wish I did, but I do have Leo Terrell's live reaction if you want to hear.
Yeah.
This is what he just posted to Twitter.
Jack Smith, you lost today. You lost. I'm so happy. The Supreme Court kept the checks and balances. They realized that Jack Smith is nothing more than a political operative. It's time to celebrate, Trump supporters. Jack Smith got his lunch today from the U.S. Supreme Court. He lost. He lost.
Don't know if I've seen that animated.
Well, you know what? We never had him on. Let's try to get him on. This is he's really gone down Broadway. I'm breaking it down as I see it here. Dan, who's in today? Is Rich in or somebody in for Rich? Is it Mike?
Mike Opelka.
Mike Opelka.
Yes.
Mike got a lot to work with. You don't want to miss 4 hours of this. I wish it had broken earlier, always, of course. Now, we've had a great pre-Christmas show, but this is big. The Supreme Court, Leo Terrell is right as far as if he had won. See, the upside of him winning and keeping March as the date as all this process is would have been huge. Now, Trump winning, it's still unclear how big, I'm not going to be like Leo on this. I'm going to tell you the truth. I still think that this trial could go on before the election. But there's so many balls in the air here with this stuff. Jack Smith's got to be deflated. He's right about that. This I do not think is going to allow him to have a guilty alongside Trump's name prior to the election. All right, now we got the other cases. I'm still not in the camp, by the way, that thinks that somehow or another, if Trump is convicted, his support is going to evaporate. Maybe a point or two around the edges, but that's about it. All right.
A question for you.
Yes.
Does this have any implications? Does this give a preview as to what might come concerning the Colorado situation?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah, it shows the Supreme Court here, look, they're political animals too, in addition to the ruling. This should tell us if Jack Smith can't get this going forward because of the argument here, of the seriousness of it, how in the world is the Supreme Court going to let these donkeys in Colorado get away with this, Dan? The only thing is, I wish they would get, why did this drop today? Are they working today? No one knows what the heck's going on.
Yeah, there were proceedings, and that's what I have here. I don't have any text on it. I just have a listing of proceedings and orders concerning the document. It says petition for a writ of certiorari before judgment denied.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean it's the whole court. But the point is, all right, take tomorrow, take Sunday, take Christmas Day. On Tuesday, though, we need a full all out. And then by the end of the week, you've done your due diligence. Colorado, get out of here. Otherwise, you are allowing an atmosphere, the Supreme Court. Not only that, Dan, another thing to look at is if you're sitting there for the Supreme Court, we know the protection is minimal. We know this maniac with a gun was just convicted that got near Kavanaugh's house right outside. We don't want these maniacs massing, threatening the Supreme Court members like Amy Coney Barrett has young children. So get this done. Tell them, no, this is ridiculous. The Colorado Supreme Court and all these other courts stand down. It's not going to work with your nonsense. You'll be safer. The country will be safer. All right. Let me take Dan, I got to go with this because it's not Earl of Tacony. There's a Pat of Tacony. On home turf for the Earl of Tacony. Let's go to Pat of Tacony. Hello, Pat. I don't know if we've ever spoken before. Welcome.
Yes, thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. I mean, Don, sorry, get those D's mixed up. Must have been the Roman Catholic school I went to.
All right. Who is your exit of a character?
Okay, my character is Jim Malone, Sean Connery's character in The Untouchables.
Oh, Dan, that's a killer. I could almost. And what's the line before he gets shot that he tells sadly, the Italian mobster?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I just remember the first part of it is like, what are you looking for? And then he calls one of those derogatory statements in regards to the Italian people.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. You were very, Pat, you were very good, Dan. Just like a blank, bringing a knife to a gunfight. Because the guy's walking with a switchblade. Yeah, that's where it is. And he doesn't see Frank Nitti out there with the machine gun. But how he gets that line, Dan, the line, what are you prepared to do in the end? Dan, I got to tell you, oh, man, at the end here, this is making it tough on me as an exit. All right, but the Earl of Tacony is there.
Did you feel a little chip on the guy's shoulder? He seemed like he came on fire and hot because he knows he has a lot of big shoes to fill with the Tacony name.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, definitely. But Earl of Tacony, we're
OG.
We're big in Tacony now. Very big in Tacony. All right, 855-839-1210. It is the lightning round next. We'll hit that. Am I done with Dr. Bentz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Final round right before Christmas. We'll get your calls in, as many as we can on Talk Radio
We'll hear from the
1210.
Earl, too.
Yeah.
Hunter's been out drug shopping, and they didn't even call a drug cop.
This is Larry Steinhaus of Investor Schooling. I am so proud to announce the continuing success of our students at Investor Schooling. You already know that at Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing and stock options. Did you also know that we teach things about tax savings, estate planning, and business coaching as well? We teach things about money I bet you never knew. At Investor Schooling, we teach from the perspective of true experience. If you want to see what our students think about Investor Schooling, please check out the over 160 5-star Google reviews. To find out more about how you can change your financial life, go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday at 7 p.m. Attend that class and see for yourself what Investor Schooling is all about. Go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. We can't wait to see you this Thursday.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
More than 200 nurses at Suburban Community Hospital in East Norriton and Lower Bucks Hospital in Bristol are now on strike. More than 20,000 people have been killed in the war between Israel and Hamas. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has declared bankruptcy days after being ordered to pay $148 million for defaming 2 Georgia election workers.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute have formed a powerful alliance. Legends in care giving New Jersey families the most sophisticated heart team in America. Innovators in research and patient care who've made life better for thousands of patients, raising the standard for the next generation of care. The alliance between Deborah Heart and Lung Center and Cleveland Clinic Heart Vascular and Thoracic Institute means the highest quality care close to home for you. DemandDeborah.org.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have started a huge renovation. Take our already incredibly generous offers and add an additional $1,000 off all new Volvos, plus owner loyalty, plus up to $2,000 when financing or leasing with Volvo cars, plus $7,500 lease rebate on all plug-in Volvos. This is a fabulous time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo. This month's offers are incredible, and we must make space for all the construction vehicles. Visit us now.
Hey, it's John Ritchie. If you're in the restaurant, hospitality, or casino business and your point of sale system isn't helping you sell more, earn more, or work less, you need to talk to my friends at PDQ Signature Systems. PDQ has everything you need for success, including enhanced mobile reporting, direct integration to delivery apps, 24/7 customer service, and so much more. Whether you have a single location restaurant or thousands of locations, Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ can help. Visit pdqpos.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Competition is so strong, even Tacconi's being invaded with the Dom Show. Man, this is competitive. And here we have the caller of the year, Earl of Tacconi, with us on Talk Radio 1210. Oh, no. Had to do that. All right, let's go to the great Earl of Tacconi. A couple days into his reign as caller of the year, and already people are plotting for next year.
Well, Dom, I would like to, first off, thank all the people that voted in everything, and especially at the end where all the early votes, there were only 40 votes per bracket, and that 165 people voted for me and Scott in that last round.
I'm glad you noticed that. It was intense. It was really, people cared about it.
And Earl, I got to ask, is this something that goes on the resume now, or is this something that's kept off the resume because you don't want people to know that you're the Dom Show caller of the year?
I haven't decided yet. I'm being humble so far. But I mean, just the fact that, with the prize comes the fact that Captain Chucky's now has the Crab Imperial, which actually I think would work better than Tater Scott's. So in a way, it works out for everybody.
I love it.
Yeah.
And the tiara did arrive in the mail today. So thank you very much. For
okay.
that.
All right, very nice. Yep.
But for my side question, it's from the movie RoboCop, where Emil tries to run over RoboCop, and RoboCop shoots at the van and doesn't kill him. And Emil drives into the toxic waste vat and is flushed out the back and is melting and mutating, and it doesn't kill him. And as he's walking across the road to try and escape, Clarence Boddicker hits him in the 6000 SUX, runs him over, and he explodes in a ball of green radioactive goo all over the windshield, like a bug.
Beautifully put. Thank you, Earl. Merry Christmas. And Scott of Mount Laurel here. Hey, Scott, are the Sixers for real? I trust your basketball acumen.
Well, we'll see. It's too early. The playoff time is different than regular season.
Yeah, I'm already counting second
what they
round, and I'm already getting Ajita thinking of who they'll play and have to get out of the second. As good as they look.
And it's such a long season. You got to be really hitting on all cylinders at the right time.
Am I on
But
Scott's
I want
naughty
to
list?
congratulate our.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Hey, Dan, you've been great to me. I got no issues. And, it was a lot of fun to be involved. It was intense. It was great. Did I like going from 10 votes ahead with 6 minutes left to 11 behind? No.
Not that we're counting. Not that we're counting.
Sorry, man.
Yes.
I love you very much, man. Everything you bring to the show is fantastic. The Earl coming into the studio to do that Merry Christmas album was awesome. But please, if you do more Philly stuff, please keep dropping it. It's so much fun what you bring to the show, man.
I'm working on my singing voice now. I have to get in there and do something. No. But we have to be more versatile, right? But no, anyway, before I get to anything else with the whole, at this time of year especially, I just want to thank both you guys. I mean, this show, the way, Dom, you have it set up, and Dan's right with you on, and the way you welcome the callers in. There's so many shows you call in, and I find call and let me get rid of you. And when you guys let people get their points in, you let them answer your questions, go back and forth a little bit. You make it so welcoming. You let us really be contributors to the show. And it's really a great thing. And the contest was it was so much fun.
Made my day with saying that. That's what I believe in talk radio for all these years. Thank you, Scott. So who do you have?
Absolutely. It's the greatest. One other thing. Man, we play today at 4:30. Dan, you're over here in Jersey. Come to Haddonfield High School. Watch us play varsity 4:30 today.
Not today, but you have my word that I'm going to come out and see you play a game. I would love to see that. That'd be freaking awesome.
I'll shoot you a schedule.
Yeah,
I'll get you a link to the schedule. Mine was when Mike and Gloria left Archie's house and went to California. And what I remember most was it was a real sentimental moment. And Meathead says to Archie, "You've been like a father to me." And Archie says, "Well, You've been like a son to me. You never did anything I told you to do.
Nicely done. Thank you, Scott. All right, Dan, this is a tough moment. I got somebody in mind that I like, though. I got to admit it. Tell me yours.
Well, my personal one is Joe in Bordentown, czar of train calling with Randy Quaid in Independence Day, but I can definitely be overruled. What do you got?
That is great, too. I got to admit, I like the Untouchables. I don't see how the exit of a great actor like that, Dan, when he's got the blood on the train schedule, summons up the strength to say, what are you prepared to do to Elliot Ness?
Yeah.
I don't know how Elliot Ness is just go and kill every criminal in
Pat and Taccone.
Yeah,
in there,
Pat
huh?
and Taccone. Yeah,
New
that's
caller.
what I like.
that. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Untouchables goes into the hat.
Let's put them into the hat. Let's hear the 5 from this week.
So down Monday, we asked who's got a golden voice. Gary in Newtown called in with Paul Harvey. Tuesday, who's a fraud? Mary, Dr. Fauci. I think that's a pretty fair answer.
Yep.
Wednesday, somebody who has something named after them. Maybe the thing named after them might be more famous than the person themselves. So Earl called in with Americo Vespucci and America. Thursday, a first world problem. Dan and Richborough, a tall individual, said a center seat on an airplane combined with electronics in front of you, like the screens that won't work. And finally, you just heard it Friday, a great exit, a death or something from a film. Pat and Taccone with Untouchables, Dom. So we're going to throw them all in the hat. We got our week winner coming up right now. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. Number 2 for Tuesday, Mary with Dr. Fauci, who's a fraud. Congratulations.
How all that came together with Dr. Fauci. It always does here. All right, so great stuff this week as usual. You heard the breaking news here too. Real consequence. So we're off for the weekend and, of course, Christmas Day. Dan, you are going to be in the new home. Christmas Eve, the whole family extended coming over. Is Maisie ready for that?
Yeah, first time ever, Dom. We're going to be hosting Christmas Eve dinner. Don't really know what to make yet. And
people should send you advice on Twitter.
Bad that we're 2 days before now and we don't have the food, right? It's going to be a nightmare tomorrow going to the supermarket.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Captain Chucky's is on the recommended list. They'll help
make
out
some
with
crab
that.
cakes.
There you go.
I might have to
Always good. All right. Thanks, everybody. And Jim, thank you. Jim, how about Merry Christmas from one of your best characters?
Well, I just want to say right now, Merry Christmas to everybody. I started celebrating Christmas about 2 weeks ago because I'm not even around. And only idiots work during Christmas week. That's why Dom Giordano's going to be on all next week, Robin. They stole that from me working Christmas week, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Howard.
All right, Mike is in the bullpen ready to throw with a lot of stuff in this Jack Smith stuff. Mike Opelka will be next, and we will see everyone on Tuesday. Follow on Twitter until then at Dom Show 1210 here on Talk Radio
Merry
1210.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, it's John DeMasi, host of Health Watch, Sunday mornings at 8 and again Sunday afternoons at 4, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Are you struggling with things like fatigue, body aches, headaches, brain fog? You may be living with Lyme disease. And this may be true even if you have received antibiotics or your Lyme test was negative. Dr. Molly Fantasia and the healthcare team at Innovative Medical Associates have used medical hydration therapy to help hundreds of patients to reduce symptoms often associated with post-Lyme disease syndrome.
I want to get you through your initial challenge, working alongside with my physicians, and then get you to a place where we are looking at